the big fish.
Was unable to find a big fish and had a moment. And then we went to go see the Queen, convince her to stop the tax audit. But going on with the information about people missing, decided to go and see about this vampire, to which turned out to be someone that people already knew. Went and found him, confronted him, tried to haggle a bit and try and talk to get information, which promptly ended in bloodshed after
We got
uh,
information after
we
we
got
got.
information,
We
but
kind of.
instantly there was a fireball that happened and hit everybody. Uh,
Not everybody, I was fine.
yes, 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 yes. Not everybody. Yeah.
Ate that shit.
Combat happened shortly, and then eventually, after all of the
What
grunts
fireball?
were essentially taken care of, he surrendered and was willing to do the transformation. I think it was some sort of transformation to recover his soul.
Don't kill me.
All right.
All right. I'll submit to you, Cardinal. That's what you want. I thought this is what you wanted me to be, is you wanted me to run things from below, but the town's guard have just been giving me too much trouble.
I didn't want you to do
Child,
anything.
so just
I gave you the choice to turn back to a human long time ago, but you refused. So I sort of backed off.
He looks over at Viro, who kind of like started the whole ruckus.
oh yeah, I did. Never mind, because I changed my sword after he said he was the one taking children. I'm
Yeah, I mean,
smiling at him.
I did
I
sort of
like,
hint that I didn't really want to come down here.
yeah, I like take him by his. I like put my hand on his shoulder and I start guiding him towards the altar.
All right. Booker becomes visible.
I was already visible. I was holding a blade, pure darkness to him. So yes, but yes.
The two thugs kind of wake up Anto that are standing next to you, and they're like, "What the hell happened?" Azul looks over to him, and he's like, "They're going to try to turn me. You can't let them do that to you, boss." They're too much for us. Can't do anything. It's out of our control now. It's in the fate of the gods.
Aren't you excited to see the sun again?
I saw
Procedure will have to be done. The procedure will have to be done with the tome, so we'll have to go back up to the main level. Do you have some place you can keep him in the meantime?
I mean, he doesn't need to breathe, does he? As a vampire? Am I correct? Do vampires not need to breathe?
You look at his chest, Booker, and you see there's no breath coming out of him. He's not breathing.
I could we could put him in a bag of holding, but I don't know how much that would work.
I absolutely 100% agree. We should do this.
Wait. Don't put him in the back of holding that has the sword.
I don't have the sword. It's at the vault.
All right. Okay, never mind then. That's correct. It's in the temple vault.
Yes. So I'm going to walk over and just open the bag of holding, get in the bag. The weirdest thing I've said all day. Just don't, please, just get in the bag.
Delian, you agreed that you would do the ceremony here
Wait, did we?
at the altar of Isha. I
But
won't
I
go
still
in the
need to get the
bag.
tome.
Well, we
I
will
can't
wait.
do it today.
Can we not recover the tome?
Uh,
Bring it here?
I mean, I guess I can, but it
Or
seems a little
I
bit.
will stay and make sure they don't go anywhere.
And also, we need to sacrifice items, if I recall the ceremony correctly. So,
Just take his shit.
Ah,
no, I think the people. Well, anyway, I'll come back. So I'll
Vyro,
head
it's been
over
about a
and
minute. You see the bruising on Azul, that the smite damage that you've done to him? He's all regenerated. He's back to full HP.
I'll do it again.
no. Not yet. Not yet. And
I'm a man of my
so
word. I will stay here and wait, Cardinal. You require whatever you need to make the sacrifice complete.
yeah, I go back up and get the stone.
Cardinal, aren't you afraid? What happened with Thomas? How can you assure that it won't happen with me?
To be honest, I can't. I'm not. I guess we have to have a bit more faith. If the people involved don't have faith, then it's very likely we'll fail.
The Cardinal leaves and goes and grabs the tomb. The two other thugs or lackeys that were like knocked out are here. And they're just kind of off to the side, right, Anto? Kind of standing behind you. They say, Anto, how'd you learn to fight like that?
I think it's just you have no idea what you're doing.
Damn, dude.
could take a nap.
I've been fighting on the street ever since I was a boy. I've never seen someone move like you.
What, with a limp leg? Yeah, I know. Just don't try anything funny. Whatever happens, happens, and you won't get a fire on your face from certain someone. And I point to what do you call it? Byro? I point to
sure.
him.
I look at you and like, he may have knocked you out, but I won't.
As Delian has left, she has gone to gather the stuff. Did you hide your own model, Delian?
I think it fell down.
No, he hit
No,
his
I
own
don't think
model.
so.
Delian has left. I'll just put him like kind of over here just for so you guys get the feeling. Azul looks over at Vyra and says, "Why did you do this?"
We can't have someone kidnapping children in our city.
People go
That's the
missing all
long
the
and short
time.
of it. We act like that's a necessity. Like this is supposed to be happening.
What do you say, Booker and Anto?
Booker at this point has just kind of walked over to the edge and like sat down, gonna rest for an hour to just recover after being hit point blank with a fireball. Just he looks over and just faith is one thing to have, but I think what you could really use is some hope in that this will actually work. Apparently, hope is a dying commodity around here, and it wouldn't hurt to have a little bit more nowadays.
Hey, Book, are you doing all right? I'm looking at you. I see clear wound, but I still ask.
It's just scorched. The cloak is fine. The shirt is a little singed, but few burns. I'm all right. A little bit. I'm all right.
Hey, what's your hit point level at? I can kill you later.
I was gonna take care of him. I will go up to Booker and I will use my lay on hands. 20 points.
I look very much almost in tip-top shape.
Very cool.
Thank you. I was definitely not going to use this time to be able to get some spell slots back. No, thank. I'll take a 10-minute short rest to get my spell slots back, and roll a
You
hit
can
die.
save your hit die.
Okay, or not, yeah. Well, yeah.
No, I mean, you can still roll, but you don't have to roll as much.
It's fine. I'll just take a rest in that time and use my ability.
As Azul looks to you, Booker, she says, "That little girl is a madman."
Oh, absolutely.
Yes, yes. I think that there is just a sense of a lack of control or guidance. Something. There needs to be definitely something wrought in. I just don't know what.
I don't trust her.
That very much shows. Can you at least trust any of us? I
Well,
trusted you enough to put that money up there on the altar. I trusted you enough to walk up and approach you. Can you at least...
only a moment after you backstabbed me like one of these cutthroats.
Fair. But I was only protecting them.
How about I give you the money that the Lynx gave me and I leave this place and never return?
No. No. Your money is not worth anything right now.
Delian.
But you give us information on where you put those kids.
I didn't put them anywhere. I gave them over to the Lynx.
The Lynx are related to Rashad. They're a group, right? They're related to Rashad or something in his business.
I think Rashad's like... Which is why I'm kind of fucked up with finding him right now, because if I do, we might not get our items.
I mean, it's interesting how Rashad would basically tell us about this whole operation that you were down here in what was possibly the general, I don't know, way of him saying to get rid of you.
Oh, he sabotaged his own operation.
Maybe he has no use for him anymore.
Maybe he trusted you before you stabbed him in the back, too.
I don't... No, I've never met the man.
Did the Lynx have a special ship used for shipping? Any defining markings?
They always have a flag on the masks, of course. And they have the markets down by the port. That's where we drop them off.
Where?
Nobody asks questions. But now with the guard breathing down our necks, it's getting harder and harder. The Queen doesn't appreciate slavery in her city.
Yes,
it is not law yet. But finding good slaves is hard to come by.
They decided to raise them instead.
I mean, as long as you end up being on the right side of the law when the law is passed, if you help in turn, maybe with their operation in destroying Rashad instead of being part of it and going down with him, they may take your sentencing into consideration to make it a little lighter. That's up to them.
Delian didn't tell you what happened to Thomas, did she?
Delian doesn't tell us much.
He looks over at Anto.
I know nothing.
That's a lie. You were there.
No, you were there.
Was I? I'm trying to think.
I think that was your first session. You saw this guy turn to ash.
I mean, it was so sudden. I just can't remember. First day there was a person there, and then it was nothing.
Tell us the truth. What happened that day? Tell us what happened to Thomas then, Anto. And that you really trust this mad woman who almost killed you all.
I mean, something did happen. But you have a chance.
Something is a man died. And you're skirting around it like a cutthroat.
You better watch what you say, man, because it's not me you gotta worry about. It's the one guy near you. So
I'm not like you. We have a code, you see. Honor among thieves.
This is
Yes.
the honor in taking children and raising them to be slaves. There's no
Oh,
honor
well.
in that.
He looks over at Booker. You put the gold on the altar and deceive me. He's a liar. What would you do? Cut out his tongue? Holy paladin? Why don't you cut out your own tongue? Use deception to get what you mean. You're no better than I am.
Excuse me. I'm very well aware of who I've dealt pawn to. I am very well aware that I protected my own friends here. I'm very well aware that I took a strike at you after you've done multiple harm to my friends. You left your men here to die. You left your men here to die. Where's the honor in that? As far as I know, you ran off.
You killed my men.
I look behind me. These guys are
I
alive.
look at the charred bodies on the floor next to the altar that Delian blew up.
Your beef is with the... I forget what her title was. Your beef is with Delian.
The cardinal.
Cardinal, yes. Your beef is with the Cardinal. And I point to the other bodies that were basically eviscerated by scorch marks. I cannot do that. Definitely not.
Well, whatever gods you do believe in, let us all pray to them. I will be praying to Isha. And hopefully I will not end up like a dead man like Thomas. And Delian goes and arrives at the Temple of Ivonium, the Temple of Fire. And she finds the tome, but one of her assistants comes up to her and says, Cardinal.
Yes?
Lord Urius left and he wanted us to deliver this note to you.
I don't really don't have time for this, but I'll look at the note.
He hands you the note and you open it.
Sure, I'll take a quick look at it.
The note is written in... What languages do you speak?
I speak Celestial, Common, Elvish, Giant, and Infernal.
You're unable to read the language of it. This is what it looks like. To you, it seems like gibberish, but the script of it is in Common.
Oh, that was helpful. That was helpful, Dad.
You, Dad, for leaving and leaving a fucking weird ass note that I can't read.
Well,
Thank you, Dad.
There's a spell that I can read the language later, I think, anyway. But I don't have time for this, so I just get the tome and head back.
You put the letter in your pocket.
Sure.
You grab the tome and you head back.
I think the prodigy feat, is that kind of like I can memorize things very quickly as well, out of curiosity?
It does not. It allows you a skill expertise, and an extra language, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, the keen mind one is the one that lets you memorize things.
I'm just wondering, like, if it's like an eidetic memory, I can just memorize stuff. But...
No, that's keen mind.
Yeah.
Okay.
Delian, frustrated, she puts the note in her pocket and she grabs the tome. What does the tome look like? Do you remember where you got it?
All I know is that it was in the library, I think, or something. And then I was looking at it. I took it, and I probably kept it in my room.
It was in the library of Whitehaven, the castle. It's something that you took or accident took and found it there. It used to belong to Ian Parnish. The hope was that maybe one day Ian Parnish would be able to turn Illyrian somehow, or he wanted to find out more about vampires, as Illyrian was another opposing faction, or she was killed by the Dark Divide. You guys, Delian comes back and she's here, and the altar's here. And Azul says, "Is it time, Cardinal? Add another notch to your belt, another dead soul."
Well, that's very morbid of you. But we need to choose. You need to choose 2 people that will perform the ceremony with you, and each person needs to sacrifice an item, if you recall.
As Delian says, it's very morbid. He points to like some of the charred bodies around the altar.
That's partially your fault, you know. You shouldn't have tried to intimidate us or extort us.
So it's a death sentence then, just to try to get some gold and do my job, which you tasked me with. You're the one who came here. You were a guest, and you came into my house, my domain, and incinerated all my men.
Gold that you don't deserve, and you know it. Anyway, regardless, let's just move on.
Now you see why I resisted this so much. He looks over to Anto. So he's like, "You put your faith in a little girl. Hopefully I won't turn to ash."
It's all up to, what, destiny? Chance? Don't worry. Flip a coin.
Delian, how do you start the ceremony?
Seemed to have notes on it originally, but anyway, regardless, I call upon the spirits of all the gods, not just Ivona, and we need to get the items first, though. So, what is each and he needs to select the 2 people that are going to do the ceremony with us.
He looks over at Anto. He says, "Anto,
Yes.
he is merciful to my men, and he's like just sighs and looks at Booker. I will not have this angel creature try to bring me back."
A good call. I was going to sabotage it.
I only need one holy man or woman in this ritual. He looks over at the Cardinal. And no one here believes in Isha but me. And I'm sure this mercenary doesn't believe in anything but gold.
I was actually curious about Isha. Looking at your altar here, I didn't have a chance to talk about it. It's awkward timing, I believe.
I don't believe that Isha would want you to stay in this state either. So, and all the gods should be unified against the darkness. So I'm more than willing to perform the ceremony, but we still need 3 people. So you do need to select somebody.
I just did, Cardinal. You,
Yes.
Anto?
Booker, and Anto.
Oh. Okay. All right, so
The Cardinal begins to put down the candles and the chalks, draws the symbols. Azul stands in the center of the circle. What does each item? What item, and do you want to select to call Azul's spirit back to his body to attempt to return him? When the item is used, it is permanently lost. It's essentially lost to the energy in the winds as you try to call back a soul beyond the grave.
Do a little huddle here first. Just talking to the 3 of us, just of Anto, Delian, and Booker. Just, what do we have that we can sacrifice between the 3 of us?
It doesn't have to be yours. It can belong to him.
But that feels kind of rude, taking his things.
Why don't we just use the 2 guys that Why don't we use the 2 guys that I have over here? The 2 guys that are like
sacrifice
guys.
People.
I don't know.
Yeah, but
They might have stuff for this for him.
No, we have to sacrifice magic items, though. That's what happened last time. That's why I wasn't really keen on it.
It doesn't have to be a magic item, just something significant to him.
Something significant?
I barely know the guy.
I don't know either.
I think that's most significant to him is the oath book. So,
I don't think he would be very willing to part with it.
I mean, look at those cool bracers he has. Maybe we can sacrifice those.
He doesn't have much of a choice. We just take something from him, right?
These braces, they were designed by my people. I found them in the king's chamber. He unfastens them. Shall we sacrifice them?
Yes!
I guess
Give it to me.
I guess we'll do.
He gives the braces of defense to Anto.
I really don't want to lose this, and I pull out the elemental gem. I don't. Sorry, Sor. I'll apologize later. So I have the elemental. The
Little do you know, his soul is actually in there, and you gotta kill him forever.
Damn it! I can't win.
I'm kidding.
Save the life of a vampire over my Genasi friend. Right.
Booker takes the elemental gem. Anto takes the bracers of defense. What does Delian do?
Sacrifice the ring of fire resistance because I have the internal power anyway now.
You would sacrifice your ring for me, girl?
The more powerful the items, the likelihood of success. So we should definitely do that. I mean, these items alone are worth more than what Booker was going to offer you. So
At least you did not sacrifice my father's legacy. If I survive, we can have his bow, at least. All right.
Well, let's hope that you survive. So,
Fingers crossed.
Delian, what do you say to try to draw his spirit back as you're the first one up?
I call upon the spirits of Isha, Comus, and Ivona to bring back to the world of humans the one that was lost by the evil that was committed by Arno and his minions. In particular, Ilarion, I think, was one of his minions and basically took his life and turned it into this creature of darkness. Please accept our offering and please bring back unharmed to this world our brethren, Azul.
As you hear, like, the power and an uneary wind begins to blow in the chamber, the candles around the altar blow out. Azul kind of like, growls a little bit, and his fierce red eyes, filled with bloodlust, stare at you, and the ring in your hand starts to turn to ash. Anto's up. Oh, Delia needs to make the D20 roll, the skill check that she wishes to use. She can make it with advantage since she sacrifices the Ring of Fire.
I guess I'll use... Can I use any skill, or is it just...
This is something that you have to select on your own. Yeah.
I assume it's religion, isn't it? Or...
Yep. So roll with advantage, then add 2d6.
Got it.
Are you rolling in Tailspire? There you go.
Yeah, might as well.
Nice.
How come it doesn't show up?
So we got an 11. Because it takes a while because you threw the dice over the cliff. You rolled an 11, then add 2d6. You roll 4, so let's add 4 then to it.
What? 6, right?
Yeah, so
17.
11. Yeah, I'll roll a counter roll to see if it works. It appears
and
to
then
work.
plus 5 for religion, so it's 22.
You don't add the religion roll. You add your soul mod. I'm sorry, your mind mod to it, right? Your mind.
My mind mod.
Yeah, because it's religion based. It's religion knowledge. Anto's up.
I thought mind is soul. Isn't it soul or?
No, it's mind.
Mind is 0. Okay.
I'm not entirely sure what I'm exactly supposed to do here with the braces of defense. You got any tips, Dillian?
You have to call him back from the dead to the living. So just say how you feel.
So this is the worst thing possible because I barely know the guy. I only saw him for about a few minutes. Azul, your friends are waiting for you. You keep this going like this, and you're just gonna keep hurting them and yourself. Come back to the living world and stop being such an edgy vampire.
You sacrifice his bracers. Roll a d20 with advantage since you're sacrificing a personal effect of Azul's, something from his own people.
They fail.
Okay. So what skill roll did you want to use? Or skill check? Let me just roll the d20, see where in it. It automatically works since I roll a 7. So I'm just trying to beat your roll with the straight roll. The wind blows around you more. The candelabras go out as
I relight them.
The blend of the as soon as you like try to light one, you like the wind like blows it out, right? It's getting pretty windy in here, Pyro. It's pretty difficult.
You're so stubborn.
Yeah, the candelabras even down here.
Would a bless spell still combine add rolls to this, or doesn't matter?
No, it's a skill check made by the person. So last one up, and then the bracers of defense. Booker, you see this as your turn is up next. You see the bracers crumble into ash and blow within the wind. You hear whispers as the soul tries to get called back.
I will cast guidance on Booker, which works for ability checks. It's just a d4.
I will not allow it. This is a straight roll, only made by the person. It's a special type of roll.
Here's the thing. I also have, I remembered, I have a scroll of protection against fiends, which is a lot more. And I think it might be, depending on where his soul went, it could be useful, but...
His soul went to hell.
Maybe it did? Did it? Does anyone know that? I don't know.
No, no one has any idea.
Which item do you want to use, Booker? You want to use the scroll or you want to use the gem?
The scroll. Yeah, it's a lot more. So
what skill roll do you say, and what do you say, Booker, to try to bring his soul back?
I think I want to try Arcana. I want to try and using the glyphs and the chalk outlines and interlays, just try and force the energies to sort of tether it, to try and give it that more oomph of reach. Not exactly grab onto him, but to be the beacon to return. And if the spell gets used, it protects him from fiends. I don't know.
Booker, you can either make a religion roll or arcana roll.
I think I will do Arcana.
Okay, Arcana, you just roll straight up now with advantage then.
Oh, if I do religion, it would be with advantage?
You've already chosen your fate.
Oh, okay, I was just asking. I didn't know that. Okay. Should I roll in Tailspire or in...
You can roll in Tailspire if you wish, and then you just tell us the mod, from D&D Beyond.
Okay. All right, let me see.
I roll in Tailspire so you guys can see the rolls.
Drag.
Never
rolled in here. Yeah.
7 plus your Arcana.
That's a 15 total.
Here's my roll. It falls off the little ledge. Oh, no! It all works. So each time a skill check is successful, as you hold the scroll up, the runes on the scroll begin to glow, and you see the scroll begin to turn to ash and blow at the wind around him. And so what happens is it's each successful challenge that's passed. Azul, he's already died once. He was actually wished back by the Genie King in our very first game, a one-shot. So his DC every time he dies goes up by 1. So the DC is reduced by 3 when you guys make a successful skill roll. If you fail the skill roll, there's no punishment, but it helps recall the spirit back as you try to bring items and ways to call the spirit back from the far reach. Undead isn't the same thing as being dead, though. The spirit is being held by something, like a tether to the shadow realm. This is his role in public now. It's unmodified. There's no mod roll to it. I have to roll a 3 or a 3 or higher, I think, on the roll. That is correct. Because a 1 is an auto fail.
I grip him and say, like, have faith. Show your faith today to the show.
Believe in yourself and have hope as well.
I roll it. It works. You feel his soul. He's like, it's coming back. You see his fangs beginning to retract. He looks around, though, as the world begins to flicker and go dark a little bit. The rest of the chamber, goes dark. And you see, I'm just trying to change the chamber lights here. And you guys see the chamber, change different colors and go dark. I don't see him. Where's he at to return my soul? And this is the final roll. If I roll a 10 or higher, it's successful. If I roll a 10 or a 9 or low, it's unsuccessful. I roll an 11. And Azul, you feel he sees like a large push, as you say, believe in him as you hold on to his arms. He's like flung across like several feet. Ah! And he like kind of falls off the edge here. And the wind stops, Viro, and the candle lights go back on. The room turns back to its normal color. And the fog, it gets brighter in the room. And the fog that was there, Viro, recedes and is no more.
Is he alive? Look over the corner to check.
You look down, and as Viro gets over to him, his eyes open. He's like, I'm back. I'm myself again. Thank you.
I put my hand on his shoulder and I use my divine sense just to make sure all this is going.
You look at him to see if he's not a fae, fiend, undead, or aberration, and see if he's of this world. And Viro, before maybe you sensed it out and you saw the dark taint on him. Whatever was there is no longer. The ritual is successful.
Welcome back to the land of the living.
Hope. Perhaps there's hope in this world after all.
And if we can get him back, maybe Exon can come back. But what was that? I looked down, just kind of laying on my stomach, looking down at him. What was that you said about someone missing? You couldn't find someone?
I looked and I heard a woman screaming. I saw something terrible. They say when you die, you're supposed to meet the god of travels. And I did not see him. I felt my soul being torn back, away from me. Edius was not there. And then I felt your arm on me, girl. And I remembered who I was. Thank you.
So, is it safe to assume your mind was not your own?
I felt an animal, a stranger, a dark stranger inside of me. close until you feel an urge, and that urge becomes overwhelming. I was not myself. It must have been the blood curse that Ilarion put on me. Now she is dead, and her reign of terror is over. Finally. Done it.
Well,
Yeah.
I will give you a choice. You can help us take care of this child trafficking that Rashad is up to, or you can go to prison.
That's not much of a choice now, is it?
No.
It's an ultimatum.
Our kind, the Wood Elves, we just banished those who are not in service. And I just told you my mind was not my own.
Azul, it's great to have you back. I want you to keep your oath, though, and to protect your people against the darkness, so you don't have to hand anything to us. But we do need to know if Rashad is lying to us about the children being kidnapped and being forced into slavery.
I don't know what they're up to. They're paying 100 gold a head, man, woman, or child. They load them up on the ships, and the ships go east and to the south. They don't ask more questions beyond that.
I got a question. Was the scream that I heard the slaves that we're looking for? Did it sound like a kid screaming?
You'd have to ask us, so...
Did you hear it too, Anto? The woman scream?
I don't know if we're talking about the same thing, but I hear a scream, yes.
I hear nothing now. But when I was coming back, I heard a scream of terrible pain. I looked west.
So when you say 100 gold per head, do you mean they're forcing free people into slavery, or are they just buying slaves?
It's become a lot harder to... I hate to say it. Like I said, I was not myself, Iro. And we really want all the truth to come out. It was her. He points over to Delian. Them and Exodin and Orion, they wanted me to have this organization down here. I agreed so I may survive. I did not trust you, and I was a fool not to. I see you were right, and you were able to cure me.
I think it was your own faith that cured you. I just helped you along the way.
Yes, it was. Praise be to Isha. Praise Ivonia.
Regardless if your mind was your own, those actions were still committed. If you can, just at least get us some information from the docks.
What do you ask?
Are they transporting only slaves or also cargo?
The slaves are the cargo.
So they're not using these ships to transport goods as well.
Where is the drop-off point?
Must be south. And east. Maybe Windstrand or High Pass.
No. Your drop-off point. Where are you taking them?
I meet the contact at night by the docks. I can't be the only one doing it.
Of course not. It's somewhere to start.
We're just the most capable. Well, we were. He looks to Vyra as like, if you wish to dispense your justice. I'm sorry, friends. You may kill them. He looks over to the two thugs. These men are evil. And they
shall
hear
be
this,
imprisoned, but
and they hear this, and they say, and then what does Vira do?
I don't even use the stairs. I climb up the little thing right here.
I think redemption is a good also alternative for justice.
They say, oh, hell fuck no. And they just jump off, and they start running away. We roll initiative.
I just wanted to
Unless
talk.
you have some way to kill them. What do you do, Vira?
I was but that's kind of strange. Okay. Dude, weren't they tied
As
up?
they're running,
They were not tied up. Anto just knocked him out, and they were standing nearby.
did these men assist with the kidnapping?
They're fleeing right now. Yes, they're evil.
As they're crossing the bridge, I fireball it so they fall to their death.
You point to it, Viro, as you go to the edge, and Viro dispenses his own first form of justice, like Delian does. Aims the fireball right here. The bridge explodes, and these two men are burning. You just hear their hapless screams as they fall down to the bottom. And Azul walks over and he says, "Good riddance."
Those men, this was warranted because those men were not vampires. They had their own mind and they chose to do this. Any judgments on me for doing that? I don't believe they're warranted. Well, I'm satisfied.
So, now that you've regained your mortality, where will you go and what will you do?
It looks over to Viro. I don't know. I walked with Exodus before I was turned. But I always wanted to go south and restore the great tree. But it's not a task I could do alone. I wish my people to return once again, establish the great roots, and fight the darkness.
Well, that sounds like a wonderful adventure. We will be dealing with this child trafficking first.
But to answer your question, Mage, I don't know where to go next. Without Exton, he was the leader of troop. I am too, Delian. Thanks to you.
Now you should go forth and protect your people, but I guess we'll have to find out more about the slaves directly from Rashad, unfortunately.
Or we ambush the contact at the docks and learn it from him, or her, or them, or they.
Don't try to cross the links. They're a powerful group. You have to work keenly if you want to defeat them. They're connected everywhere on this continent. From the east all the way down to Assad. The slave and trade networks are vast.
Damn fucking corporations.
You have to figure out a way maybe to be more subtle. But they are keen. They're well off and wealthy.
DM, is it still the same day that I took a dip in the water?
Yes.
So we might have a chance to catch him in the port today, right? If we try.
If you want to. Just depends on what you guys are trying to do. I mean, you're trying to like capture some guy who maybe works for the links.
I got it. Viro, I got information. I was at the docks today. I heard screaming. Pretty sure it could have been the slaves. Do you want to go rushing over there and fireball a few ships?
Before we attack Rashad's ships, don't you think we should talk to him first? At least get a sense of whether he's actually willing to cooperate or not?
If we go in there just, burning things down, just setting things ablaze, go in there with our nothing prepared, there's going to be a lot of very powerful, very rich individuals who are probably going to just outright kill us.
Booker makes a history roll.
We need to be smart.
Also, you know the stuff that you guys ordered? I mean, it hasn't arrived yet. So if you attack before it arrives, you have that possibility that could be a problem, right?
I mean, at this point, who cares about the stuff?
Well, you paid for it. I mean, it's kind of silly not to get it, right?
If money is that much of a bother to you, there's a whole bunch of burnt coins on the altar over there.
It's not money, but we need resources. I mean, I don't want to belay this point. You need resources.
How much is a slave?
100 gold, they said, per head.
What if we buy the slaves then?
Then that will just continue the market and will grow.
Yes, but we'll have all the slaves, and then if we have the slaves, we just free them.
But then they'll be recaptured again and then resold.
We stop the people that captures them right now, right here. At least a few of them.
We need to talk to Rashad and convince him to stop. It's as simple as that.
I don't think we should let him know that we've ruined part of his business.
Right now, I think we just like free the slaves before we even try to talk with Rashad.
This sounds like a
This but he's like a politician and okay.
That's right.
He's a politician and a merchant, so he wants to survive. So I don't think he wants to fight. I mean, you guys can do this, but I mean, it's just gonna, I don't know, it's just gonna create a mess. But it's up to you. I mean, I prefer to talk to him because he's a merchant and politician, and I think Barno is his friend anyway. I mean, we got other things to do unless you really want to go out and start creating havoc on the merchant trader.
Well, now is the time
to plan.
Personally, I don't think of myself too much as an assassin, as Azul says, but I will stay around, and I will be at the House of Otun. If you need my services, I will be there.
I enjoy the sunlight.
I will be around if you need me. And if you wish to travel south with me and restore the great tree, only the strong may do it. Maybe you're up to the task. And he leaves.
Quest marker hasn't
what do you want
to my map.
What do you say, Booker?
The gold is literally mostly still on the table. I assume that there's some blessed around here, but it's still yours. I still paid you for what was offered, and consider this as fulfillment of your actual part of the bargain. I'm not going to short you of what you've earned.
This all feels very strange.
Everything's strange. Sometimes we just have to accept that some things in life are indeed unbelievable.
You're so generous with your gold.
Booker, he says, there's things more valuable than gold, like the blood of my people. I wish for my elven kin to return one day, back to the great tree amongst their place. My mother was tasked with guarding the great wood in the south when Orion was killed.
And at least use it for your people.
I will. He goes and takes the 1,000 gold off the altar then. It's like kind of burnt.
I'll help collect some of it too and clean it up.
My people do not care about metal as so much as wood. This is more of a outlander's way of thinking. He looks over at Booker. It's like we think about oaks and trees.
Well, with how...
Are you sure you wish to give this to me? I mean, I guess I could take it and start something with it.
people outside of your community also see gold as something very important. Use it to buy trees. They consider those cheap, but there is good.
You want him to buy trees?
Yeah, why
Your
not?
components ain't cheap there, Booker. I don't know. You're just giving
I
away
have
gold like,
I have components. Excuse me. I'm stocked. Some are reusable. Thank you.
Well, I did hear a terrible rumor that Orion, who was apparently a fairy folk, was chopping down the Deepwood Vale. I guess you're right, we could reforestate the Vale with my people there on the outskirts. And bring back some of the people and hope back. Thank you. He takes the gold and leaves. Does anybody else want to say anything before he goes?
Safe travels.
Azul is now a potential PC character that someone can play. He's a equivalent level Dragon Tamer Ranger. So he's in like the PC pool, if you want to call it like that.
Okay.
Say we take time to plan how we're going to deal with this child trafficking without making too much of an enemy of the Lynx.
we have a lot to do besides that, but I mean, is this really a priority item? I mean, we can. I might just go. Well, anyway, I'm gonna go talk to Rashad the next morning.
We have 5 weeks. We have enough time to plan something at least. In the meantime,
I'm going back into the water.
Oh,
Okay. I'm going to go around the table. It sounds like the group wants to split up, kind of do their own thing. Right?
sounds like it.
Booker, did you want to say something else?
No, I was just mostly just wanting to say, yeah, we could plan something. We have 5 weeks. At least dedicate one of those weeks to planning something. And that's all.
What do you want to plan, Booker? Before everybody just jets
Still
out.
haven't looked at Well. Remember Well?
Yes, I remember well. I'll interview well, and I want to interview the Trident as well, but that's neither here nor there. And
you tried to say I want to interview the Triton, and Anto's like already out of the crypts, basically.
I have 5 weeks. He'll show up eventually.
Let's go around the table. I'm going to start off with Anto first. Anto leaves the crypt, and he's heading back to the docks.
I'm going to the docks, yes. I'm actually going to do 2 things. Dip in the water, but before that, I want to look to see if I can find the source of the screams from earlier in the day.
It's the slaves being marked. I'll roll a 2d20, right? As you go to the port, slaves are coming and going. New slaves are marked with a branding tool, a special magical piece, and there's 19 slaves at the market right now.
Do they look like what we're looking for, like children?
You do see children in there. You do also see men and women in there. It's unknown where they come from or who they are, but you see them getting 2 symbols put on their cheek. One, the top one, is to mark who owns them. The bottom one is to mark where they are. And you kind of ask around some of the questions of it, and one of the sailors there says, "Well, they're shipping them off east."
How about making an offer? Instead of shipping them off to the east, how about I buy them off from your hand?
These ones are already sold for.
For how much?
Well, they go for 150 a head.
150. So, and there's 19 of those.
Aye.
What about I double it?
You have to speak to the Lynx.
Bring me over, or take me to the person.
There's Rashad.
Fuck that guy. Okay. Before I go to Rashad, I'm gonna take a dip in the water and look for a big fish.
Okay. I'm just calculating the total of the 19 slaves. You want to pay 300 gold a head for them?
Yes.
Just to give you the price for that. It's 5,700 gold.
I should have almost that. or that exactly.
All right, cool.
That's the
And
trend.
Anto, you know that you have to maybe deal with Rashad on this issue, and you jump into the water and you dive down below. Ooh, this feels great, Anto.
Yes. Don't make it weird.
It
I'm
already
gonna
is
try.
weird. You're a surface walker. You've never been this deep. Shall we go even deeper today?
Yes, I'm
Looking for
going.
this.
No. Shh. I'm going to dive towards the bottom where I was before, walk a little bit further away, and try and see if I can find a big fish. I don't even care if it's a shark. I will find the big fish.
Now, I heard you talking to the slave market there. That gold you were supposed to do, that's supposed to be for the temple, Anto, and you know better.
It's for the temple, actually.
Oh, we're going to buy followers?
Yes.
You're
Oh,
so
God.
smart.
Oh,
I knew
no.
the champion of Lunia was up to something. Oh, you are a clever one.
Yes.
Okay, that is kind of clever.
Okay, so don't drag the conversation too long. Let's just focus on trying to find a big fish, shark, even a whale if they have to.
Hey, can I create a big fish create food and water and just stick it in the water?
It's a fish. It's a dead fish. It's a cooked
I'm
fish.
going to go to Booker next. And then as Anto's searching the deep waters, Anto, you're underwater, though, and it's like all dark, right? You see the floating particles within the sea. The salt water like runs across your clothing. You have a bubble that's around your head, though, which allows you to breathe. That's powering it. This idea of like forces being created is a part of the power of Whelm, right? On the Trident of Whelm are various symbols of the deep, right? Anchors, mermaids. You know, it's a very elegant thing. And then when it's in the water, it kind of glistens a little bit as it's where it's supposed to be, a part of the deep sea, a part of the salt and water, you know. And you are walking across the bottom of the ocean floor, essentially. And you're walking out hundreds and hundreds of yards where you overlook the shelf where you saw before. And I'm going to go to Booker now. Booker is... what are you doing, buddy?
I cut back to the temple, open the door, see Whelm.
It's in the vault, right, Delian?
No.
Whelm has been in the vault, or where is... I'm sorry.
Whelm
where's
was
Whelm
put
at?
in my Whelm was put in my
He's
room.
got it.
I have room. Well,
You see it in there, and the room is just like...
kind of set up a little thing, desk, chair, paper, my hand open for the writing. Just maybe I should get someone here just in case something goes wrong. Couldn't hurt. Just a few seconds. Last regrettable words, and just try and touch it Whelm with at least 2 fingers to try and see if any sort of contact is made.
You feel like it shake a little bit, and it like kind of like as like it vibrates a little bit, it like slips out of your grip.
Try and grab it.
You put your hand around it, like.
Yeah.
Audio.
Ooh. Hello. New voice. Is this?
Yes, who are you?
I am Booker Carvel, a researcher of historical things and artifacts. I assume you are Whelm.
You are not a dwarf.
I am not, but I am very curious about your history, and if I may hopefully be able to reunite you with whatever kingdom or wherever place you come from.
Why?
Yes.
Why would you do that?
Is it not the right thing to do to return to you who you belong to?
I
If you-
was took by that dwarf. Sent me here.
Where do you know where you were made? Or where you gained your sentience from?
Come the door.
Amuldor?
Come
So
the
he said,
door.
Amuldor. Okay.
It's north of here.
Is there any individual who should be directly returned to?
I hate giants, and especially goblins.
I will do my best to keep them away from you then. I would not like to be around a giant either. They seem very tall.
Setmir was supposed to do it. It was forged in the Great War.
Great War. And how did... You were forged in the Great War. And how did you end up in the dungeon?
I was bent to his power. He was corrupted.
He was corrupted.
He was taken by one of like you. A mage.
My apologies.
Branded for his power. The longer he stayed there, the darker he became. It was in there for a long time. It was dark. Darker than the deepest pits of Comnadur. I wish to return there. And rid the place of all the goblins and giants.
I'm sure we can find someone of your people to return you to, and you may carry out that mission as you say.
Aye.
Well, this has been a lovely conversation. Well, it is very nice to be able to actually interact with you.
Aye.
Do you want to be carried around, go outside and see the sunlight?
No, I don't like the sun.
Would you like me to cover you up then?
Aye.
All right. Take your hand off and blanket.
And you start to cover up Whelm. It's a mighty warhammer. As you start to like rattles a little bit on the desk, an energy builds up in it, a power that the dwarves made a long time ago. This was one of the three great weapons, or one of the great weapons that was forged in the Great War that the dwarves tried to use. Setmir failed to do it as Comladur fell when the orcs came, and it was overrun.
So you're seeking redemption or revenge?
You tuck them in.
Let's go to Vyro. What is Vyro doing?
Pyro has nothing to do but train for 5 weeks.
Vyro goes to the temple of Ivonia, where is Delian's temple basically. Goes in, where do you go to the altar and start praying?
Training, I guess, with his magic.
Cool. Now, I've been thinking about, skill points and stuff like that, and during like vast parts of downtime. And another way players can do, they can actually find guys to train them. You can learn extra languages. The idea I thought was like just some idea on the top of my head. I'm working on fleshing the system out further. You can spend 2 skill points to gain a language, stuff like that, and like each skill point costs like 1,000 gold, something like that. But that way, there's also you can build more. Like you can essentially like in raw D&D, like you can't really. I don't think you can really build proficiency in things or expertise in things that easily, and this is a way to kind of express that. If you want to develop certain levels of it, and it would probably take like a week of hard studying to gain a skill point, just as an example. Let's go to Delian. So that's just something to think about, Vyro. Do you want to spend any gold? You could try to become more proficient in something, too. Since you're saying you are trying to do training of some kind. you know, what type of training. So training in magic, you know. Thing is, you have to find a teacher that's as good as you or better, right? And then it would probably cost more gold. Let's go to Delian though and see what he wants to do.
I'm going to. Well, first thing, I'm going to find the big fish. I'm going to find the big fish for him. So I'm going to do locate creature with extend and see if I can find one.
Well, Anto kind of did this on his own.
Okay.
I think Anto kind of just like Rambo'd this a little bit.
All right.
He didn't really ask for your help.
In which case, I will.
That's a good idea, Delian.
Yeah. In which case, I will. Can I use borrowed knowledge spell and get linguistic skill? In which case, would it allow me to read the letter?
Yeah. Let me take a look here.
It gives you like.
Trying to think what borrowed knowledge does.
It
just gives me a skill.
There it is. It's a spell. Yeah, I mean, I will say I will allow it, as you can learn a language of some kind. This is a 2nd level spell, right? So if you're using the new system, you have to reduce your spirit by 2, right? Whenever you cast a spell.
But I assume it's not combat right now, so I don't know if I should keep a track or.
Yeah, just keep track. You never know.
Okay.
It's up to
Right,
you.
no problem.
I don't know. And but like you ask around the temple like what language it might be, and they're like, it looks like the language of the dragons. It looks draconic.
That's fine.
Hi.
Mixing would have been really useful.
And you look at it again, your eyes kind of squint, and you get like a headache, Delian, when you like try to do it. As you try to like fixate on it, and you feel like the blood of fire like running through your veins. And you cast a spell, you gesture, you make the incantations. The letters begin to reform into common almost. Or it's like you see a strange language and it all starts to just make sense to you, you know? Daughter, I know you have the power within you. There is good in you, but you must resist and believe the powers that I have given you. For if you succumb to despair like my sister, you will be no better. You don't understand the pain I endure, the sharp sting in every movement across my golden heart. I should be dead, yet the gods can be cruel and unforgiving. I must go. I have more questions that must be answered. The kingdoms of men here need hope. Give that to them. If you ever muster the strength and courage you lack, find my sister and destroy her. Perhaps it is the only way now. I was not strong enough, and I failed. Urius, the last dragon of the wind.
I don't suppose he actually mentioned the sister's name.
He did not.
All right. I mean, I read the letter with solemnness, but I'm still kind of pissed at him for not really, revealing himself earlier. And I'm still going to search for the offspring and stuff.
And just like a deadbeat dad, he's left once again.
Yeah. If assuming he is my dad, but anyway.
True. What else
then
do
I'm
you do?
gonna go to talk to the gnome priestess, whatever her name is.
Uma?
Uma, is that right? Okay.
Yeah. Let's go back to Anto, though, before that happens. Ula is her name, I believe. Bishop Ula Dunben. Anto, you finally make your way to the shelf of the reef, right? Of the great reef before it drops off into the ocean. You look down and it even extends beyond the realm of what you could see, right? It's hundreds of feet down as the Fovalone Sea is there. The Fovalone Sea is kind of like just It's kind of like the Mediterranean almost, right? It just connects into the ocean if you think about it. It's just a body of water, but it's really just the ocean. I mean, it's just a subsection of the ocean. Are you scared?
I respect the ocean.
Yes, you should. But you also should command it, champion.
Why, you think I can control the water now?
You must become the water.
Let's not get hasty. I like my flesh as it is. So I'm going to swim a little bit away from the corner and try to see if how he says become the water by connecting with the surroundings. Try to hear, see, and try to call in a big fish, shark, a whale, something big.
Roll a perception roll.
Perception. You know what? I'm good at those. No, I'm not.
You are searching around, and so it takes for every hour you're out here searching for a big fish. That's kind of how it works. As you're swimming around near the bottom, the pressure is, you can't go too deep because even though your body is, there is a force around you, you can't. It's like the submarines, I think, from what I understand. I actually played with a player guy. He worked in the Navy or something. He worked on submarines, and he said the submarines only go down like 30 feet, something like that, maybe 50, because then it's like you're under so many atmospheres of pressure, it just collapses the metal.
Mm-hmm. It's very tight in there. My dad used to work on a submarine for the Navy.
So I mean, I think you could probably only realistically swim about 50 feet down. But then again, I'm not a scuba diver. Maybe I should research this up a little bit.
Oh yeah, you could, I think if you go up too fast to get air, I think at a certain point for scuba divers, your chest just kind of collapses or something.
Oh, your lungs explode.
Oh, your lungs explode. That's what it is. Yeah, that's why they collapse.
Yeah, your areolas, I think they're called, which is the small little lung sacs, which hold your air. The pressure difference, Anto, is just like wants to rip out of you because you're in a, the pressure difference. It's like air bubbles trying to get to the least amount of resistance, right? Trying to get back to the surface. And so every hour you want to spend out here. And what I'll do is I'll add an hour to the timer, Anto, and it is right now 4:15. So you could probably spend another hour or two, but then you might get fatigued.
I'll spend just one more hour, and then I'll head back.
Isn't this just grand? We could just stay down here forever, couldn't we?
Shh. Then if I stay here, you can't get the temple, so shh.
That's true. We do need the surface walkers.
Yes,
but there are a lot of creatures of the sea. And did you hear the docksman say that, and that merchant too? There apparently is a large dragon out here.
Yes. Wait. Dragon where? With the water? Don't jinx it. Okay. Stay focused. Don't worry about it. There's no dragon around. There's no dragon. There's nothing. No leech. Nothing here.
That'd be one hell of a fish now, wouldn't it?
Yes. Shh.
Aquatic dragon. Write that down.
Roll another perception roll, Anto.
I'm curious if there's anything like at the bottom of the ocean, like people have thrown into there, like garbage or sunken treasure or some sort of weird
16
magical sword. I don't know.
So I will roll now. You finally are able to search and find something. So I will roll a d20. High is good for you. I grabbed the 2 dice again, so I'm only going to use the top one, or the first one that rolls out. If I roll a natural 20, the dragon's there. If I
That's not good for me. That's not good for me. What are you saying?
If I roll 1 through 5, it's just like small fishes. If I roll a 15 through 19, there's like the big fish, right?
Okay.
But then the rest of them are kind of just smaller, like medium size. Anything like 5 through 15 is kind of smaller.
Anything if it's not 20 is good.
So I roll an 8. It's just kind of like, you find a fish, it's probably like a large bass or a large fish of some kind, probably like 3 or 4 feet. But it's not
big
like
enough.
not man-sized, if you want to say that like that. It's not as
Yeah,
big
it's
as a
not.
man or a horse.
Yeah, it's not big enough. Shoot, I don't need you. I started going back.
Jesus, what are you trying to do, man?
Let me go to Booker. Booker, what do you want to do?
Well, at this point, I think after the interview with Whelm, which was interesting, and I will keep note of all that, I have 5 weeks to do something. That took an afternoon. That was the only thing that I really
Come
needed to
train with
do.
me, Booker. Suffer
So
with me.
I was actually thinking about that because if this city, the general public have, if there's that whole thing about training people, who's to say I couldn't just offer to train people as well in simple magics like cantrips? So what I wanted to do was I wanted to set up just if there was a general place where people could, take their time in sort of have this open aired uh, sort of like a general teaching space. I would actually start teaching people for a small price, which is basically probably nothing, like a few copper, just how to do magic and how to practice them with little to necessary, not needing spell components or such like that. Because
Keep in mind, Booker, most people in this city cannot read.
is that true?
That is true.
Mm.
But there are people...
Azul was also thinking about starting a school.
This, as you ask some more questions, Booker, of the city, you do see there is less homelessness than there was before, as the markets are open. Now, granted, there still is slavery abound, but the farms are open. And you hear about the great farms that Orion has established to the west, just acres and acres of farmland. And you see wood elves traveling out west to replant and restart the reforestation project. So your gold is already being, put to use. This city was freed not too long ago by the forces of darkness, about a few months ago. And King Ian Parnish took over. And it was found out that he died of unusual means. His body was never recovered. And that is when the Dark Divide and yourself, I think, maybe put... Oh, no, you weren't here. Put Nona Vigil in charge. She was in exile or in hiding, and then the Dark Divide put her in place. The literacy rate is quite low, and there is no school of magic, as the forces of darkness have destroyed most things of value. But hope has returned for sure, as it has been about 4 months or so removed from that. People are worried, but the guards are fully posted, and safety has returned. So business can happen.
Well, I think then just a simple free educational class to learn how to read and write could help. And if anyone who is capable of reading and writing, there are advanced classes for at least minor magic if someone wants to try.
Do you
sign
want
up to cause chaos?
Do you want to sign up? Do you want to start your own school of magic?
This is sort of more. I want to just mainly find a open space to do this for a short period of time because it's a few weeks.
Probably use the House of Otun.
I could if have a general time and place where I would hold teachings.
To give
if that would be allowed.
A college or large school would cost 50,000 gold. It'd be 200,000 square feet and cost 20 gold a day to run.
I'm already running dealing with a school back at where I'm from, so I don't need a second one.
The House of Voltun is a noble estate that was taken by force by the Dark Divide. It was expropriated, or whatever you want to call, and just basically taken during the transition of Queen Nona Vigil. One of the previous nobles had somewhat of a claim to the throne, who was in direct lineage, but you guys, the Dark Divide, said no. And basically said, we're going to take it. And it was rumored that he was involved in slavery as well, which they did not look kindly upon. And do you want to use the House of Otun as your place of operation?
If
It's quite large, and it's about 12,000 square feet, to give you an example.
it would be allowed and permitted, of course.
Trying to combine the temples, so
Would my teaching there not would that infringe upon the possibility of connecting with you and your temple? You think? I'll ask Deli on that.
what do you mean by that?
Would me wanting to hold something there to help betterment of the people around
What I'm
here?
saying is that if we unite the temples anyway, it'll be like holding it in my temple. So that's basically the same thing.
So should we hold it here at this temple, or?
The reason I think my temple is safer is because I hallowed the ground, remember? So it's up to you.
So you're saying I can hold a class here?
Sorry? What?
So you're saying I can hold a class here? That's permission. You've given me permission.
Yeah, of course.
All right. I'm going to set up one of the rooms for just a simple sort of class. Nothing too fancy.
Word starts to get out that one of the archmages has arrived in Stormbrook, one of the wayward wandering mages, and people of talent are coming to Booker to learn how to do magic. Those of a younger age, typically teenagers, is where the magic is brought out and revealed to them through repetition, knowledge, and speaking. Many of the books have been burned in Stormbrook, though. Let's go back to Viro. Viro, what are you just trying to get trained up on?
To be honest, I don't really have much goal for training, so damn. Instead, I think I'll fuck around at his class and mess with people.
Viro tries to help Booker out, teaching people. They come to the Temple of Ivonia, so they also, it's kind of like Catholic school, I bet. It's like they get a strong emphasis on the Christian religion. Sort of the same thing, Like the gods are good type of thing, and the gods are great. And by the way, here's how to cast Fireball.
Not going to start that difficultly. I think it'd be a general teachings on what magic is, because if some certain people are in here that don't have magic or understand it well, then it's good to set a baseline idea of what they're dealing with. What magic
goes
is.
on about boring magic shit. I show people how to cast Fireball.
Not anything dangerous.
There's dangerous things.
Vero. There's a method to this. I just want to start off slow and not overwhelm them. Because magic comes in different types.
I cast guidance on the students.
Let's go to Delian. Delian, where did we leave off at? What do you want to do, bud?
I want to take a talk to the gnome priestess. What's her name again? Ula Dundu.
One of the acolytes comes to and says, Cardinal, the bishop is here from the Temple of St. Exodin.
Please let her in.
And the little dainty gnome, probably about 3'2", comes in. She says, Cardinal?
No, I just want to talk to you about something that would be benefiting for both of us, I think. I'd like to merge our temples.
Merging the temples? But St. Exodin gave us that huge donation, and we just erected the temple of ours. Now, granted, it's not as vast as the Cardinal's temple, but it can still hold its own, and wouldn't you say there needs to be much forgiveness in this world?
I'm trying to create a unified temple of all the temples in the city against the darkness, and all the temples would fall under our protection, as well as yours, of course. And if I was to merge the temples, since I'm away quite often to take care of some issues, you would be officially the person that runs the temple while I'm gone. Would that be satisfactory to you?
I like the sound of that. Where were you thinking about going and when?
Well, as soon as possible, I guess. I guess within 5 weeks or so. But one of the things that I do want to discuss with you is I don't want you to try to push people into giving us money. There's plenty of money coming in as it is. So, if at all possible, try to get money from those who are actually, believers, I suppose, rather than simply just try to take everything that's available, right?
Cardinal, I know you're one of... You're not as strong as the rest. Let me put it this way. You're much stronger than every one of us combined. And Exodus had started his order up of knights. And we plan to continue that practice. The knights give us power. And then I agree, and the knights require money, Cardinal. And I can't just simply say no more donations.
Oh, I'm not saying no more donations. I'm just saying don't try to push too hard on them. That's all. I mean, I will find the money. I wasn't very happy that you took Booker's money because he doesn't really, he's not a real, believer in any of the deities that are present in the temple.
It's not my job to decide when the gods decide to bless us with the holy money of whoever, whether it be a lowly peasant or an archmage.
Since I have the telepathic feat, can I detect thoughts to find out if she's just being really deceitful?
Yes, but it requires saving throw on her part.
That's fine.
So how saving throws work for stuff like this? Now, here's the thing is, the telepathic thing is an ability. And she sees you... I'm trying to think about how this really works. Because you're not using like a subtle...
Kind of like an insult.
That requires a sanguine roll as a subtle spell.
I need a sanguine roll, is that what I said?
Yeah, because it's a subtle... You're using a subtle spell, magic, essentially. Subtle spell, sanguine.
So I would spend points, right? Or was that actually a roll?
It's actually a random saving throw for you because you're not a sorcerer.
Okay.
Do you want to do it?
Sure.
Okay. Let me look it up. Let me look up the rules here.
Okay, so casting.
I'm looking you up. Is this silent spell? Oh no, I call it the. So let's take a look at the spell telepathic. So you're using an ability though, telepathy, but you're really using detect thoughts. And let's see what detect thoughts does.
It just reads surface thoughts to get a sense of what they're thinking.
Yeah, yeah, but you said you want to probe deeper.
No, I'm just trying to get the surface thoughts just to see what she wants out of this.
You can get like the general emotional state of her without casting the spell. You see what I'm saying? So you don't need to make the roll. If you just want to tell people, ask what surface thoughts is. This is sort of like from Critical Role, actually. With Laura Bailey's recent character, I think she has this, or she's a warlock with this ability. And it doesn't require, it's just like you're almost reading the surface thoughts of a conversation. She's obviously she's like a little anxious, just talking before you is making her nervous a little bit. And you hear she's like, I hope she doesn't ruin it.
Anyway, would you be willing to accept the offer of Chief Bishop in this new unification temple?
Of course. But, I mean, these temples, they're in separate places and separate things. It's not like, is this just an organization or is this like a place?
Well, we all meet here and discuss the particulars that we need to pool our resources, and perhaps we can build annexes to this temple and just create more temples next to it.
But my temple is 100 yards or so away from yours. It would require, what is it, 5,000 gold to build the passageways from your temple to mine. It would have to be built of marble. We can't just build it out of cheap lumber.
Don't have to build the passages yet. The idea is to have all those unified in the council chamber for now. And those that don't have temples, we can create annexes for here, right? mean, it's a long-term plan at this stage.
I'm not completely opposed to it. The fact that you would make me head bishop in your absence is more than enough to me to unify the temples, and the power bestowed to me by the cardinal in this regard is amazing, to say the least. And I am glad that you would bestow me with such power, and I humbly accept, and I'm just trying to take it all in. And what should we do with the guard?
Job.
What should we do with the knights? What should we do with the Knights of Valiance?
Well, they should protect any temple within the unification circle. I mean, whoever joins us will be able to pool our resources together, right?
Of course, of course. I will go speak with the rest of the preachers and tell them about your plan and make sure they come on board. And
excellent.
At least we can get the riffraff off the street in the temple district, I suppose, and have them start meeting in here if you allow it.
Of course. I mean, the place here is protected against any sort of interference for now.
So the temple district in general is like a bunch of squatters, essentially. Like there's alcoves of like ruined places, candles and things of where artifacts maybe used to be, but the forces of darkness destroyed or leveled down most of the previous temples here. One of the last temples remaining Delian was yours. Exodus Temple didn't even exist before he came along. He spent thousands of gold to erect it at the end of the temple district, which is about 100 yards away from where your temple is. But between there and your temple are just ruins, essentially. The rest of the people in the temple district there are preachers of all different kinds of religion there. A very polytheistic society. All different people looking for hope to pray for certain things. Certain farmers go to the market to pray to the gods of the god of rain, which is Anto's god. The other gods, want, sunlight to make the crops go better, so they pray to Omus. And the miners and so forth that are mining out from the western mine that's now connected to Stormbrook, they come to your temple asking for light, in the tunnels so it doesn't go out when they're mining. Things like that. So they're praying to the god of fire. So it's a very polytheistic society in that regard.
And the idea I have is to start with shrines that connect everything and then build them up slowly, and then eventually everything will be total, right? But it's something of a long-term plan.
I think of it kind of like the Pantheon or the Parthenon, whatever it was called, in Rome, where it's a giant building where basically what you're trying to say is you're trying to convert this into a giant temple that's just not devoted to Ivonia. Or you're willing to almost share this large temple that's been erected and put in more polytheistic imagery inside of the temple.
Yeah, that's correct. Because I want to pull the resources because it's limited as it is.
Now the thing is there's going to be a lot more poor people too that come in, like homeless people, things like that are going to come into the temple. There's going to be a lot more foot traffic.
That's fine.
Okay.
I will say
the expenses of the temple. Yeah, sure. I will say the expenses of the temple will double because of this. So it goes from 20 gold a week, I believe, to about 40 gold a week. To give you an example.
Okay.
Now that doesn't mean that it's going to probably cost easily 20. We'll use that as the base thing, but there also could be more benefits. As more people come to the temple, there could be more donations and so forth to the temple. Let's go back to Anto. I'm sorry, we couldn't find one, Anto.
It's okay. Next time. Always next time.
Don't give up. Let's keep searching.
I grab my chest like it hurts. Later.
Okay, where do you want to go, Anto?
I'm going to beeline it towards Rashad, which is the person I need to talk to about the slaves. So,
and that's where Delian was also going as well, right?
I think so.
And then Booker. The next scene will be with Anto and Delian meeting Rashad. Booker, what do you want to do?
Well, I mean, I'm still continuing the lessons if any of them are fruitful, but mostly the writing and basic teachings as well.
I would say right
Eh,
now you're just putting together lesson plans,
yeah, that's fair.
and maybe you're paying up some scryers and so forth. If you want to spend a gold, you basically hire these criers to go around town to say, "Hey, we're teaching magic here at the place," and
Uh,
Viro is there, helping. There's maybe one, acolyte there that shows promise at the Temple of Ivonia, and you're helping teach this young boy who usually just like sweeps up around the temple a little bit. What's the boy's name, Booker?
oh, I was not expecting me to have
Or
to
Viro?
name.
But you
It's
don't want me
Viro's
to name
also.
him.
What race is the boy? Like, what are they?
Um,
What is he?
what do you want him to be?
I don't. Someone give me a random race. That's not apparently what races aren't around or extinct. I don't know. So, uh, just a general race. Anything.
It
I don't
looks
know.
like a human.
Okay, it looks like a human. Okay, could be anything. I don't know.
Fallen Gong says wood elf.
Or
It's a
what
wood elf.
else? Okay,
Yeah, it's human. Yeah, what else? Yeah.
looks human. Yeah. Okay.
If we kept going on, I was gonna say plasmoid.
Ugh.
As he looks over at Virus, like, can we not learn fire? It's so destructive.
Okay, let me think.
Can we learn something else besides fire? It just destroys so much, and we must keep the wood safe.
I think a
How
non-fire-based
shield?
spell that could. I think some good magic. I have a few spells in mind, of course, that could help.
Unfortunately, this was the only temple around when I started to learn, and believed in the gods. My faith never wavered, but I don't like the cardinal too much. She likes to burn things too much.
She is an acquired taste, I believe.
It's fucking crazy. Anyway, I can teach you shield.
Yeah, let's.
Defensive spells I could help with.
I think you may benefit from things like prestidigitation or dancing lights if you wished for a non-fire based light source.
Well, I was thinking more, water spout or something like that. So when the cardinal goes through one of her angry tirades, we can simmer down the flames a little bit.
Oh, I look over to. Is there any like candles open or anything big fires?
Yeah, there's
Any
like
general
razors.
sized anything?
Yeah,
I use prestidigitation and just snuff it out. I can do that.
Okay. Let's
It's
show
a
me how you did
start.
that.
All right, and I will proceed to teach him as best as I can because it's only verbal and somatic components. Prestidigitation, no materials required, and I will spend
And
as much time as necessary.
it's getting a little late, but you spent like a good hour with him just trying to teach him the motions of it. And how magic kind of works is there's like a familiarity to it. It's not an exact science where as he begins to try to weave the magic around, you see the fingers begin to move and you see the void beginning to twist around his fingers. But it's unique to every person. There's a familiarity, but also a difference to each soul or each person. And as he tries to learn the gestures, he has to also master his own self, his own body, and his own essence to do so. And that's the challenge of magic. For some, it comes so easily, for others, not so easily. I'll have, let's have Viro make the roll with advantage as you, both Viro and Booker, are trying to teach this guy prestidigitation.
The steady 20?
Yeah, you roll a d20 with advantage, or you can use your Arcana roll to try to help him out. Your Arcana would be like similar to a magic knowledge check.
Should I be helping him, or
Yeah, that's why you're rolling with advantage, or you both can roll separately if you wish.
Could he help me and I roll? I don't know what his Arcana is.
The advantage was just an 8.
What's your Arcana though, Viro?
+2.
So what's Booker's?
+8.
Well, I will let Booker roll separately. Just roll once, Booker. So we're going to count Viro. Viro's head space seems to be in a different place. maybe slaying those guards earlier, those thugs in the caverns, that was maybe distracting a little bit, maybe wanting to burn more people up rather than snuff fire out. Booker makes a D20 roll.
I think this is a lot different than what Vyra would be understanding, because paladins don't normally learn cantrips. And this is more of a sort of learning the language. 12. I got rolled a 4.
Pathetic.
Yeah,
but some progress is made. The DC is not.
You know why he
easy.
doesn't do it? Because I use control flames to make the flame 5 feet expand. I'm like, come on, put this out. I just put too much on it.
Start with a candle. It's okay.
I need to go.
It is a candle, but it's 5 feet long.
Oh.
Well,
see, I can't do that much. I'm not as strong as you both.
Hey, I'm gonna go over and just kind of sit down near him and just. I was much in a position like you when growing up. I was not a strong general practitioner of magic, and where I come from, in a sense, it takes a lot of effort to become where you are today. It's all about memorizing and repeating and understanding and having these kept in your mind, and before you can cast them. It doesn't take just a few hours in a day. Just keep practicing on it, and you will get it eventually.
I will.
Good. Then I say his name is Bry.
Bry, okay. Write it out in the Discord chat so don't forget it. Let's go to Delian and Anto. You guys come to the shop right before it closes. All kinds of exotic sounds, spices, smells, tastes, and flesh are all at the desire here at the merchant shop. Rashad comes down. Cardinal. Oh, who do I owe this? Great. Thanks to you, the pesky audit is over. But they said that you're taking it over. Could not be more perfect.
I suppose so. We do have a minor issue to talk about after our little encounter with the underground, with Azul.
Please, let's go discuss this in a place more private. Oh, and hello there, sir. He looks over at Anto as Anto's with you. I did not catch your name. You're very quiet.
Oh, you're muted.
Very quiet.
Sorry, I was thinking to myself right there for a moment. So, name's Anto, and I have a proposition for you. After you speak with this devil, then we can speak.
This is no devil. This is the Cardinal.
Oh, yeah. So stupid of me. Yes, you're right. It's the Cardinal, yes.
Why are your clothes all wet? Have you been swimming?
I was doing some swimming cardio for the muscles, the lung capacity. Don't worry about it.
All right, I will go speak to the Cardinal first then, unless you wish to join us, sir.
I mean, if you don't mind it.
I do not. He is a companion of yours, is he not, Cardinal?
Quote-unquote companion, but yes.
Delian remembers him saving his life from Azul. He almost got a direct shot off in the heart, and the wall of force goes up around Delian from last game, you guys remember?
I could have handled myself. It's kind of actually prevented me from casting other spells, but it's all
right. Delian and Anto are led sort of into an arboretum, a place where birds and so forth. Slaves bring out tea and pipes and so forth. Rashad is dressed in beautiful satin attire with a turban. He's obviously from the south of Bagrax. Probably from the eastern places, maybe from the north. But he has all kinds of ornamentations, gold rings, and jewelry to match his opulent lifestyle. As slaves patiently stand nearby the entranceways, waiting for just a command, right? Their heads are down, and they quote-unquote pretend not to listen. So, Cardinal, as he takes a sip of his tea, I can suspect the audit will be completed?
Yes, I delayed the audit for now.
Delayed? From what I understand, you have taken over the audit. He puts the teacup down.
Well, yes. In other words, it's delayed for now.
How about we say it's finished for now, then?
Have you been forcing citizens to be slaves? I mean, you need to be truthful here, because I'm willing to forgive past trespasses, but you can't deceive me and expect my cooperation.
What are you asking about, Cardinal? Just be frank with it.
I've heard that free people, are being forced into slavery in the Kingdom of Stormfire. So I just need to
people
know
have
if
to.
that's
The
true.
slaves have to come from somewhere.
Well, purchasing slaves from other places that have slaves and then trading them for profit, that could be standard.
They're
But
not even
forcing
human.
free people into Sorry?
They're not even human, Cardinal.
What do you mean?
They're just low-life people, just not doing anything. We just take them, and we put them to good use.
I don't think that's a good idea.
It's not a
that
crime.
You're forcing
Legal.
them to become slaves against their will.
They don't have a will. They're not even people. They don't have souls, Cardinal. You can't redeem these people.
Sir, I'm willing to forgive past trespasses, but from now on, I would prefer you not do that.
Cardinal, let me convince you. He looks over to the slave in the corner. Do you have a soul? The slave looks up and says, no. See what I mean, Cardinal? These people have no souls. When they die, nothing happens. The bodies go to the earth, and they never go to heaven. Unlike me and you, sir, we go to heaven.
I'm trying to be reasonable here. You need to be reasonable from my point of view. I cannot condone it. Not our own citizens. It's one thing.
What are you asking? Slavery is
slaves
legal, Cardinal. What do you want from me?
I'm saying that if you purchase slaves from other places, or if you, obtain slaves from other places, that's fine, but not in this kingdom. That's it. Not forcing them into slavery for freedom.
He grabs his head and he grabs the tea and takes a sip from the tea. Like a little, the pinky thing going up in the air a little bit. And he takes his mustache. He's like,
yeah, I don't think I'm asking much, given the fact that
you are not, but I am a trader, and I do trades. You understand, Cardinal? My trade then is the audit ends, and I will do what you ask.
Let me ask you a simple question. You said you're a trader, but in the end, how much are you paying for these slaves to become slaves? Nothing, right? I mean, they're basically converting.
I don't know what you're asking, Cardinal. These people have no souls. What is this a matter of the church, anyways?
It can't continue, but I will conveniently set aside the audit if you comply with my wishes about it not happening in the kingdom.
He looks back to the slave. You, go grab a pencil and go get my finest parchment and a pen. And bring it here right away. And the slave leaves a little bit. Cardinal, I believe we're reaching an impasse. I need to get this in writing so I may submit this to the Queen. This will serve as an affidavit of sorts.
You submit it to the Queen, she'll come against you. So it's better to deal with me one-on-one like this. And you know that I keep my word.
But you've come here and you think these people have souls and they don't. These people don't
It
have
doesn't
souls.
matter
Cardinal.
what I. It doesn't matter what I personally think. I'm just merely telling you that this is going to be a problem. So
If we don't take them and put them to work, they just sit on the side of the road, and nothing happens. It's better that they serve us and our needs. That way they're put to work and they do some good.
not here to debate philosophies with you. I'm just simply telling you that I'm willing to push the audit aside. If you don't,
The slave comes in with the pen and paper. Cardinal, let us draft something now. Let us create an affidavit for the Queen that you are officially ending the audit, and I give you my word that I will end the purchasing of slaves.
If
Well,
you write this paper
finding
and hand
slaves
it
here
over
it
to
is.
the Queen, the audit happened, and then you're going to be in bigger trouble. So
No, you will say the audit is complete and no wrongdoing was found.
when I'm satisfied that you're not trading or that you're not forcing people into slavery in the kingdom, then I will produce the affidavit. As I said, out of the kingdom, out of the places, I'm not going to try to force you to stop. But here, I want you to stop.
See, Cardinal, you misunderstand me, like I said. I am a trader. You are offering only a demand. And I am offering a trade. I
It's not a
want the
demand.
audit to stop.
I'm giving you my word that the audit will be set aside.
It's not enough for it to be set aside. I want it to end. The audit, with you in control, that we have made a deal already, and I have your items on the way, no doubt, and I gave you a hefty discount, if I remember, for those items. And your job was to get the Queen off my back, and I am very grateful that you were, and that you did this. But now, if you ask more of me, I ask more of you. Now that you have the power to end the audit, do so. And he points to the pen and paper. And Rashad, grims his mustache a little bit. He's like, smell the air a little bit. He's like, takes a little puff of his hookah.
I give you my word, I'll end the audit. Is that enough? Because if you put it in writing and hand it to the Queen, she will automatically step in.
No, you are going to sign it and seal it. And then you will deliver it to the Queen. That way I know it will be done. And then the audit will be done and there will be no wrongdoing. And you have my word, Cardinal, that I will stop purchasing slaves illegally. But it's not even illegal. Legal in your mind.
I mean, purchasing slaves in the kingdom. I'm not stopping you from outside the kingdom.
But you know what I mean. You know what I'm saying. I can't just go off the street and grab them.
Aren't you doing that now?
That's what I am doing. It's totally legal. But I will stop it if it makes you feel better.
This is very frustrating.
Because if anything, Cardinal, he reaches over and tries to grab your hand a little bit. He's like, I want you to be my friend. And I would hate to do something that makes you mad. And I understand if the church ways are changing and the beliefs of the church are changing, and that maybe you believe these people are real. But they're not. He looks over to the slave again. Are you real? The slave looks up and says, Am I? No, you're not. He says, I'm not. The slave says, and he says, see what I mean? They have no free will. They understand nothing. They only understand the lash. And what we do, and his hands pull back, and he waits for you to sign the paper, the affidavit, to end the audit. You're muted.
If I sign this paper, what guarantees do I have that you'll stop slavery in the 10th kingdom?
All I have is my word as a merchant, and to keep my faith in the dealings of... Well, yes, but the Queen, they deal in different matters. They want a signed affidavit with your seal on it to confirm that the audit is complete, that you've attested to it. This wouldn't have happened
Very
if
well.
that damnable accident, may God rest his soul, didn't do this in the first place.
Very well. I'll sign the affidavit for you, but you must promise, and I will be watching. Okay.
You have my word. Anto, what do you say?
I'm waiting for Dylan to leave. I'm not gonna do this thing with her here.
Okay.
All right, then I'll trust you will keep your word, and if you can expedite the materials, we need to be on our way to fight the darkness as quickly as possible.
If you want to fight the darkness, start with that damnable dragon that keeps sinking our ships.
I'm not aware of that, but we'll look into that as well.
Well, I'm telling you about it now. You're the only one with you and your merry man of men that could probably slay a dragon.
Well, it's not first priority, but we'll take a look at it.
Well, let's hope that the ships can get here safely then.
Well, I'm assured that you're skilled enough to handle that, at least.
Well, I'm trying my best. I mean, the problem is a galleon, they cost about 10,000 gold. And if one goes down and all the cargo with it, why do you think I have to nab these lowlifes off the street anyways?
As I said, we'll look into the dragon soon enough.
Do you sign the affidavit?
Yeah, I signed the affidavit.
Do you seal it with your royal seal with your ring? Like a signet ring?
Yes.
Make sure to deliver that to the queen in the morrow.
I sort of brush the things off the paper like, I will,
takes-
but remember, keep your word anyway.
You have my word, Cardinal, and our friendship is as solid as granite. And he takes a smoke of his hookah.
We all have the same enemy, so let's not try to become, antagonistic toward each other.
I'm not antagonistic here. It is my favor to work closely with the church if possible.
That's fine.
Thank you for ending the audit. Hopefully this will satisfy the queen.
And thank you for rushing everything, because we need to really fight the darkness. That's a really big evil that needs to be eliminated before all else.
Fare thee well. Assalamualaikum salah, he says, to you. Anto.
Salam alaikum. Alaikum salam.
Yes. Anto, what do you want to do now that you're on quiet? Have you been partaking in some of the hookah and tea there, Anto, while this is all been going down?
No, I was more like a bodyguard by the door, just listening in. But
you haven't touched your hookah.
Don't worry about it. I'm not really like that kind of guy to do this stuff. But anyways, let's cut to the chase. Because
you don't know how to live then. You need to let loose a little bit and open those lungs of yours up.
I do not know how to live. You're right. But don't worry about me. Worry about yourself. I know you're having some issues with the person that was right here just a moment ago. And I come for a very totally opposite proposition. I heard that there is 19 slaves on the port, and I talked with the person over there, and how about I double it? Whatever they're paying, I'll double it. For all 19 of them.
How does a sellsword get that much loot?
Well, when you go into a cave of sorts, spend the night there, kill a few things, survive your friendly fires, you get a bit of money here and there.
6,000 coins worth? 6,000.
6,000
for all of them.
You would have a hard bargain.
They were unbound to the Genie King. And about half of them were meant for Aghel in the east.
What about 500 and 900? 5,900.
Make a persuasion roll. So this is a counter roll by his empathy roll. Roll a 10 plus like 8 or something with him.
15.
They care about them so much, you'll pay me 6,000 for them. I do not wish to make an enemy of the Genie King nor Aghale.
No, it's fine. I'll pay the 6,000.
I knew you had it in you.
I need them so. And I know when there's a deal to be made.
You'll just let this man run through you.
So you hand him the coin and you put the sack on the table, right?
Yes.
And
All 6,000.
Wave says to you as you hand him off, he says, oh boy, new followers.
Yes. Shut up.
And he says, and as you kind of just like whisper to yourself, he says, Rashad says, is everything okay?
Sorry, I was thinking of something funny that happened earlier today.
Yes, very funny. As he scoops up the coins off the table, he says, I must be going. But he says, I'll have one of my slaves draft you a writ. They will give you permission for all the slaves at the market. Good day.
All right.
Rashad seems like a little more standoffish with you, Anto, as you are kind of like a sellsword. You're not really like royalty. You really don't have no power, essentially. But he is suspicious of you now since you have acquired so much coin and handed it to the Lynx. One of the slaves drafts up a writ and hands it to you to give you permission for all 19 slaves in the market.
All righty. I start headed that. Wait a second.
Yeah,
I need a temple.
Let's go back to Booker and Viro. Booker and Viro, what are you guys doing?
Okay. Lessons are slow, but still fine. Viro, is there something that you were wanting? Viro?
I should probably go check out the port.
Viro?
You see he's like shaking his leg in anticipation.
Viro, we have to wait on this. Why did you come in here in the first? If we go in there trying to find a thing other to say than guns blazing, because guns are not very if you just go in there just firing and burning everything and trying to free people, it's just going to grab more attention. You know that. But I assume that you didn't come in here just to end my sessions quickly so you can drag me along with you. Did you?
I grab you.
Unhand me? I'm confused. What's going on? I don't look at all worried by this, but I'm just... Why are you holding me?
I lift you up, and I run out of the temple.
A misty step?
Damn.
What? Spend the 2 spirit and misty step. So, okay.
Booker, are you using the new system?
Yeah, I'm gonna try it and see how
Awesome.
it goes.
You're gonna use mastery?
I'm gonna try. I'm most certainly gonna have to build it all, but it didn't have a lot of time, a lot of stuff.
Okay.
But yeah, I just teleport out of your arms. Okay, explain to me what you're trying to do here.
We have to do something.
Yes, and I agree with you, but if we go in there without a plan, then it all goes to hell in a handbasket. So I suggest that we figure out more information, and if we can separate his ties with whatever trading routes he does have, then eventually it'll all just fall apart until it gets back to him. Then we can destroy him. The docks. If everything is being traded out through there, the ships are the most likely way that they're transporting it.
All we have to do is destroy the ships
without the slaves on them.
Well,
you don't want to injure people. Don't we have? Can't Anto go underwater? Couldn't he just climb under the ships? See, this is why we make plans. I'll grab some paper. I'm just gonna walk back into the temple.
You see me, or maybe you don't. I look behind me, like towards the direction of the docks. I look at the temple. I look behind me. I look at the temple, and I slowly sigh and walk into the temple.
And I will proceed to start working on plans for the strategy. Because if we can at least prepare something and observe, maybe we could actually stand
else want to like push it this day as the day is about to conclude. Anto, you're able to purchase all the slaves down at the market before it finally closes. What else do you want to do with them? They come up to Anto. They're like, "We're free." You're muted, buddy.
I'm always muted. I'm always talking to the Trident. Sorry, it's just the Trident's conversation is too much. So you're not entirely free, not really at the moment. But don't worry.
Now?
Difficult question. That's a difficult question to answer, but yes and no. You'll be free, but you'll have to do some work as some followers of a god. Are you okay with that?
They look at each other like in a strange look. They're like, you hear one of them say, "Oh boy, we've been purchased by a crazy man." But you can't see, like, it's at a group of like 19 people, so it's like you can't quite spot the one that said it, you know?
Well, it's either that you won't be treated as slaves or be slaves. You don't really got much of an option. I'm offering you a way out. All you gotta do is do a little bit of work.
The markings have been remade, right? So they actually say like where they're from, which says, it says actually the first one says who they're owned by, right? Or then it says Anto.
Oh God!
And the second one, the second mark on them says, you know, where they're supposed to be, which is Stormbrook.
Mm-hmm.
So the two markings on their face, like who their owner is, but then they said, "Well, we're your property. What do you want from us, master?"
Oh, you're gonna be followers. You're gonna be working at a temple, and you will not be treated as slaves. So.
But you just said we can't do what we want to do. Doesn't that make us slaves?
Well, it'll be weird if you're running around not doing something, hiding the fact that you're a slave.
I want to go see my mommy.
Yes. I did not think this through. Yes. Don't worry too much about it. You'll see your mother soon.
The kid starts crying a little bit.
Don't worry. Don't cry. Don't cry, kid. This is
even more respect from Vera has been lost once he finds this shit out.
This is a train wreck.
And I'm assuming, Anto, you take all the slaves with you down to the temple, right? To the Temple of Ivonia?
Nowhere near Byron.
No, come on.
Nowhere near Byron.
We need you, Anto.
Or are we taking him back to the House of Votun?
I'm going to I'm going over there for the moment.
As you come in, like, you see Azul there, right? And he's like, "Oh, we have visitors?"
Yeah, temporary visitors. Don't worry too much about it. How many kids are there on the?
Looks like you're trying to play a tree ball league. You have so many people here.
Azul, don't worry much about what's going on. I have a plan. It's going swell right now. Don't worry too much about it. Just help me out. Search for the kids that are among the slaves real quick.
It's getting late. And
don't worry about the late. You were a vampire. What do you say about being late?
I was just brought back to life. And you brought in a bunch of strangers into the house here.
Don't worry about it too much, man. Just help me out.
Oh, what do you want?
Help me search the kids among the slaves. Just bring and separate them from the other slaves.
He starts just taking the slaves and giving them rooms in the house, you know? This is like a bunch of slaves, like they're all in like raggedy clothing.
I'm not gonna place the kids in the rooms. I'm just going to put the adults on their own rooms, and the kids I'm just going to start walking them and try to search their parents.
You want to get rid of the kids?
Well, rid in the aspect of searching for their family. That's what I'm trying to do.
Roll a con save as you start getting exhausted as the kids start leading you around town. A few of them are kind of young. I'm going to say there's D4 kids, a part of the 19 people. And so let's roll it up.
13.
Roll an investigation roll. So there's 4 kids, a part of the group of 19. And a few of them are quite young. Like I'd probably say, 4 years old, something like that. 4 to 6 years old.
I got a 16.
Yeah, so you're able to help find, and like it takes like a couple hours more, but you're able to get rid of that. So now you're down to, what is it, 15 slaves?
I don't know how many kids there are, so.
Yeah, you got rid. I just rolled a d4. There's 4, so now you have 15 slaves. So put that in your notes 15, on your character sheet. Mm-hmm.
Alrighty.
I'm going to go back to Delian as you're actually able to free the children. And Delian, what else do you want to do? It's getting late, obviously. You have the affidavit in your hand that you're supposed to deliver to the queen. But he said you could probably do it by the morrow. It didn't need to see. Rashad didn't seem to be like in super urgent need of it because you had taken over the audit anyways. But now that you've basically given him his word, he felt sort of confident about it, more confident about things.
I'm going to try to find out whether we can contact some dwarves regarding the Whelm artifact. If I can send out some people for some connections, yes?
Cardinal, the hour is late. I guess I could go by the bars, though. And all right, let's do that tomorrow. And everybody kind of goes to sleep, so I'm going to add a day to the timer now. As the first day of 5 weeks is over. It'll be a long fucking game, guys. Long fucking game.
Yeah, there's no way to speed time up.
I'm trying. You guys are just doing your own thing, so. What do you guys want to do? So Viro and Booker are just starting their own like magic school and doing their own thing for the next 4 weeks or 5 weeks, I guess I suspect. I'm going to go back to Delian. In the morning, she wants to get some of the dwarves to do what?
Just contact them regarding the possibility of returning Whelm to them.
I can help with that. People.
Booker says he's going to help with that.
I have sending, remember? So.
Who do you try to use the sending spell on, though?
Well, I would need to know the person or at least be told and explained who they are. I'm trying to contact. That's how the spell works.
That's right.
So is there any certain individual that I can contact?
Make an investigation roll with advantage, whoever, between Delian and Booker, as you begin to ask around town and, use the resources you have.
Should I roll with advantage, or what do you think, Delian? Or do you want to roll?
I don't have the investigations. I don't have the investigation skill anyway, so you should do it.
All right, I will roll with advantage then. 27.
Wow. You learn of a dwarf named Oscar Battlehammer. He is one of the elders that was able to survive from the Great War. And it's rumored that he was from Kamladur. And his whereabouts are unknown. But you could send a sending spell to him, though, if you wish.
It really depends if he's on this plane, because otherwise it might be a little wonky. But otherwise...
He hears the message, and this is the one where he can't respond to it, or can he respond?
He can respond, but I think it's like... Let me see. Sending 25 words or less.
So you have to send a message with 25 words.
Yes, and he gets 25 words as well. So...
What do you say to him? You know his name, but you don't know where he is or what he's about. But it's like sending a cell phone message, or text message across the world.
I will confer with Delian about this. You're more of a interactive with people person. Is there anything that I should say and just repeat off?
I think a couple sent us saying that we located your ancestral artifact well, and we would like to return it to you. Please suggest a time to meet.
Okay.
I am out hunting cave trolls. I will return soon. I will meet you. I will look for you in Stormwork. It's probably 25 words.
Close enough. If I would have explained where to meet up, at least at the the church.
Sure. You've contacted a dwarf, one of the elders of Kamladur, and there are rumors starting to go around throughout the dwarves within Stormbrook. And they come to the temple, on the following day, and they approach Booker and Delian. They say, "That is an artifact. It belongs to us."
Previously, on the same day, I would have asked Whelm who Oscar Battlehammer is, if he knows this individual. Just to get an idea.
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
But before we do that, I mean, you're being confronted by dwarves.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. That it belongs to us.
Please leave. We'll be speaking with your leader, Oscar Battlehammer, soon enough, and then obviously your ancestral artifact will be returned shortly.
Make a persuasion roll. He just makes it straight up since Booker remains silent.
Oh, I was not all knowing if I was allowed to
That'll be
speak.
influence, right?
Yeah,
T20
influence.
plus 2d6.
That's correct. Mm-hmm. That's correct.
Okay.
Delian's trying out the new Monsters and Magic system a little bit. I like it. Rolls a 27, natural 18. They say, "All right. Isn't Oscar one of the elders? He's one of the Longbeards." And they leave. They seem content. They're all stubby feet. It's like Snow White and the Seven Dwarves, I guess, coming in there. Booker, you go up to Whelm and you're like, "Who's Oscar?" He was one of the chosen. Said to me, drove him out during the Great War. He was a great slayer.
Well, he is on his way to reclaim you, take you home.
You don't understand the dwarven culture. The slayers are oathbreakers. They're banished from the clan.
Oh. So he...
They must fulfill their oath. And they are banished to fight monsters. It is usually a death sentence.
Well, he hasn't died yet. It seems that he's been out hunting.
You want to give me to an oathbreaker?
But we haven't decided anything yet.
I'll explain it to Delian as I'm conversing with Whelm. Just apparently, Oscar, Mr. Battlehammer, is a oathbreaker of his own people's culture. What?
That's why we said we're having a meeting. We haven't discussed actually giving him anything.
Yes, I understand. At least having this knowledge is helping us in some. How exactly? He's a breaker of his oath. How did he break his oath?
I don't know all the details. Centimere said so.
Centimere said so. That's...
The Council of Dwarves convenes, and the Highbeard says so. And they're banished.
Is there anyone of your people who you believe you could be taken back by? Any names? Any specific bloodline of the elven race? Any clans?
I don't know if the kings are still alive. Most of us were killed in Kamladur.
Right. Sorry for your loss.
You have no beard. You do not understand.
It's hard to grow facial hair, all right? I just wanted having this conversation with you.
You put it on the table, like.
I just just take my hand up, upset about this. So apparently, he does not wish to be taken by Oscar. If we had some other of the royalty or some other clans, but he doesn't know if anyone's alive. So, is there any way to get in contact with the royalty for the Dwarvens?
Well, I'm going to send out all my people to find out if there are others to claim it, and then we can talk about it with each person. And I'm also going to do some research as well.
I think for the time being, we should put Whelm in the vault as well. Just before, that we should put Whelm in the vault. If anything, that dwarven posse that arrived at the entrance, they were definitely probably going to take it back by force, seeming. So,
let's go back. But... let's go to Anto, who is. What are you trying to do, Anto? Your slaves are free. They're all eating in the mornings, and they're at this house. And they're saying, "I thought we were supposed to be at a church."
Yeah, just give me a little bit for that one. And just wait here. I'll be right back.
Some of them start to clean a little bit around the house and keep it spick and span. They kind of get into an argument with some of the servants there that are actually paid hands. Because, they're not supposed to. They're like, but what about our jobs? He just hired a bunch of new people to take us over. They kind of start a little, argument.
Even though they're doing your job, you're going to get paid. Don't worry about it. Just consider it a vacation.
Anto, do you want to try to find the big fish now?
No, that can wait for now.
Okay, what are you trying to do?
Trying to get myself temple. Small temple. This one can start small, yeah.
How much gold do you have on you now?
Oh, I don't know if I have enough for it. I don't know how much it's for a temple. I have to figure out how much it is.
How much gold do you have on you?
I got 2,800.
That's 3,000 gold, actually.
Close to.
So a small temple is 3,000 gold.
Oh.
That's just the cost of it. So, yeah, that would just be the cost of it. There's no margin or anything associated to it. So you're a little short. You start asking around for some of the contractors. You get in touch with some of the people that built Exodus Temple, some of the hands or something like that, and they just say how business is doing really well now because the King's Guard are keeping everybody in check. The homelessness is down, so demand for new houses to get built. There are some fires and so forth, but the slum districts, there's just demand for those areas to be rebuilt. You know what I mean? Prosperity is finally coming back to Stormbrook. But you're just short, Anto, to get the job started.
Let's find Dillian. I need her now. This is the one help that I need from her.
So you guys are all together. I guess you guys are all back at the temple now. Antos tries to get Delian's attention.
Dillian, I need your assistance.
For what exactly?
You wanted to unite temples together, right? To fight against the whatever its name, darkness. And so,
yes.
I got followers. Here it is. I got followers, but I'm short on the money for the temple.
Firo, get in here. You might want to see this. Anto's begging.
I
I am not begging. I am offering.
Well, how much money do you need?
About 3,000. No. Sorry.
Inside.
I need 200 gold pieces.
Sorry, how much?
200 gold pieces.
Okay.
I can help you.
Sure.
I can help you with that.
Let's see this temple.
Yes.
You don't gotta see this temple, Pyro. You go and train, do whatever you do.
I
Why don't
heard you
cast
had
some fireballs
followers.
on the boats.
I give him 200 gold. Look, I want to create a temple for the rain god as well, and connect it to this temple, so that's fine.
Yes, this
Ooh,
works for both of us.
I'm sure you could allocate some space outside for the temple.
The thing is, the moment I go in that temple and see the people with the name Anto tattooed onto their face,
It's not the
there's
name,
no
it's the
avoiding
letter
this.
A. There's many people with A's.
And he specifically said it was Anto.
It was Anto, the name, full name? I thought it was like the initial.
No, it's like your name.
Ah,
It's got to be like a symbol.
People call
You know,
Anto.
some
It's
kind.
fine.
And God forbid Vera walks around and sees a child that has Anto tattooed on his face.
Okay. Okay, so knowing that it's my name on their faces, how much the rags cost? Like clean rags?
Clean rags, like probably like a copper.
Okay, perfect.
You're trying to
I would have
wash it
gone
off.
and
You're trying to
bought-
wash off a brand on their
No.
face?
I'm going to.
You're giving the mask.
No. Just, let my brain think for a little bit
It's
right
a
here.
cult. It's just a
So-
cult now. Like,
No, so I would have bought clean rags if I knew about the brand having my full name on it, and I would like make them like wear like an eye patch, like cover that one spot specifically. Like that's going to be the dress, the dress code for the temple.
The law is a little confused right now. As Anto, you try to like skirt around the law a little bit in a way. It's like doing something like this would be bad. Like the slaves don't want to do that because they know that if the links see that, it's not good. That's how they're supposed to be identified, and it's something that's not supposed to be covered up. Like in fact,
They will
like,
know if they can't see it. They will know it.
Well, they would see the rag like specifically covering their part of their face. Unless they're all going to wear like, you know, bandana type stuff and like walk around with like, you know, like masks like this, you know.
Yeah. It's one thing for
Literally,
one
you're a
person to have an eye
thieves guild.
patch. It's another thing for 15 people to have the same identical eye patch that covers the exact same eye.
This is dress code. This is dress code.
We're pirates!
Man.
Arr!
Everybody's missing their eye. What the hell?
That's how you get into this church.
Anto, I mean, it's a creative solution, but it's something that the Lynx probably would have already thought about. And it's something that you're not supposed to cover your face as a slave. And the old tradition, like some of the guards, Anto, they're not on board with the change that's happening. Most of them. But things are changing. But like, if a guard asks, like, if you're a slave and you say no, and you have the marking on you, like, essentially you can be hanged or something like that. You know, it's equivalent to that. Or you lose an arm or something like that. Lose a hand. Or a foot, like Kunta Kinte.
So
Be a slave to the church.
so I guess they gotta walk around with their marks out.
They do. I mean,
do we have an artist in our team? Booger, can you write stuff?
Uh,
I have a
right?
question.
I'm
like saying
good with you.
booger. I'm about to say booger's dead.
Yeah, Booger's
Sorry,
dead.
if I cast Lesser Restoration, wouldn't that remove the mark?
This is a special kind of type of I would say this would be equivalent to like a curse of some kind, Delian. We actually want to put a mechanical thing to it. The thing is that the type of branding is done. Delian and Anto kind of like are trying to figure out how to do it. The thing is, the Lynx have their own tools and things that they use to unbrand slaves if their masters wish to free slaves. Even though it is a rare thing, the magical insignia can be removed on permission of the master. So there's no need to like put the bandanas or anything on. You go down to the docks, essentially where the slave market is. You tell them what slave you want to free, and they remove the marks. But once the marks are removed, they're free.
Yes, but I need followers for the temple. That's the problem.
But to answer Delian's questions, like, yes, I would definitely allow it. I'd probably have to say it'd be like greater restoration, so it'd be a 5th level spell or 5 spirit.
Yeah, I mean, but we've got like lots of time, so
It has to be over the course of a week. 15 days at least if you want to do it once a day.
I mean, this is something where it could be free, but Delian could just remove it using Greater Restoration. If
So,
you wanted to.
Booker, can you draw?
I am well versed in the art of calligraphy, and I do have my new fancy tattoo that I got. Why? What? Why?
Do you like painting faces?
Viro starts asking.
I could make you a letter. I could make you anything. I am not a face painter at a carnival.
It's for a greater good.
Is it your greater good at this point?
Ah,
you okay,
man.
You're acting kind of strange.
Anto, what is it? What have you done?
Okay, so see,
Be honest. I hold up the ring. Be honest.
yeah, for
So-
a guy that's interested in gold, he spent it all.
the trident is called Wave, and it wants a temple. Okay, and a temple is followers.
Yes.
Right. So I was thinking, the followers that I have,
Mm-hmm.
maybe they can have some sort of like a dress code where, besides their clothes, like
I
what
did
somebody
not
in the temple
know.
have.
I did not know you had followers. Are they fellow sellswords
I
like
do
yourself?
not have followers.
You said you
Trident.
did.
The Trident has followers, not me. I'm helping the Trident get a temple with followers to praise and pray to God of the rain.
Yes.
And it would be
Yeah,
really
I gotta
nice
go,
and
guys.
helpful. It would be really helpful if you could, help me do some kind of design on the face, like to symbolize the face of the god of rain or something. Some sort of tattoo with a theme of that screams of the temple of the god of the rain, Lanier.
I put a hand on his shoulder and I think that's a very lovely idea. I would love to meet them. Why don't you bring them here?
Yes, you and me.
Bring them. I don't know. Vero, are you doing anything? I could use the manpower.
No, Vero, this
This
is
is all
something
time.
not of importance. You can
we are in
go
the
on
middle
your
of
merry
our-
way.
We're in the middle of our strategies, so I'm trying to get this all taken care of.
Come on, man. This won't take you long. Will it take you long? I mean, he's just face paint.
I need to get out of the temple for a while.
Stretch your legs. Reconnaissance, that was the thing we talked about. So being able to look out for them and see what their movements are. There's that man on the pier that we need to watch for as well. So it's good to at least have some movement out there in the city. Sure, we can join you.
We know. You and I.
It's
Go.
Why don't
just
you want me there? What's going on?
Because-
Anto? Why don't you want me to come?
Viro, you got many important things to do. Way
literally
better
don't.
than this. Yes, you do. Were you going to the port to check it out? I don't know, like look for something,
I
fireball
was
a boat or
going to
two.
go. I was going to go yesterday and do exactly that. But Booker talked to me, made me see reason.
Well, you can take this time like to scout it out. You're not gonna do something like against what Booker's saying. Just scout.
I take my my cloak of many fashions. Don't go there suspiciously. I offer it to Vero. Hide yourself, and every hour or so, walk away, change the cloak into something not very conspicuous, and then just keep watch again and do different things. Does that sound fine? Vero?
Yeah, sounds great. You see me take off my armor and put my shield back in my room.
All right. And while he's doing this, Anto, I understand you don't like Vero because he kicked your ass in the hall. I understand. But you need to move past that if we're going to work as a group.
I really don't care much about the defeat of that moment. Besides, I was weakened at that point, so it doesn't really count. So it doesn't
You want
count.
to go right now?
No, you're going your very way. You're not here. So shoot.
I'm not wearing my armor. AC's
I don't fight people without armor. Don't worry about it. Just keep going and scout and do stuff. Do your stuff, Byro. I'm not gonna stop you.
Anto rolls a d20. If he rolls a 5 or lower, something bad happens.
What? What does that mean?
Oh my god, a d20.
What does that mean?
Would this count as a saving throw?
Nope.
Okay, perfect. Nice.
So far, so good, Anto.
Okay. All right, so let's go. Come on, no time to lose. Let's go.
Oh, by the way, it's a temp. Is your new? Are your followers on the way to the dock, or is it a separate way?
The what?
Oh no! They don't have they don't have a temple. They're building the temple. Where are they being held? Sorry, where are they living at?
I'll take you there. As we go over there, I'll let you know about the details. Booker.
Just start off the day, sort of normal things. Mage armor, and I'm gone. I'll join them.
The field of armor goes
to cast Zone of Truth.
Yes.
Vyro tags along Anto, I guess. Vyro's
tagging along?
Yeah, Vyro's tagging along.
I told him to hide.
You know, I'm going to do exactly what he said to hide, but not at the docks. I'm going to follow them.
Oh, interesting. This is a stealth roll for Vyro versus Anto's perception, because Anto's the one kind of looking out. If Booker also wants to roll, he can as well.
Much.
I would actually, because I think we're just alone. I'm trying to have a conversation with Anto to maybe. I don't know what that would do for the roll, but otherwise,
like give him disadvantage is what you're saying?
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know that he's being followed,
Anto
but I'm trying to have a conversation.
On the roll.
Okay.
Just trying to get general idea.
All right, that works.
Vyro rolled stealth. Anto rolls
16.
So,
I got a 9.
As you're distracting him, Booker, he gets a Vyro shadows you unseen as Booker successfully is just hamming it up with you, Anto.
He's talking.
And Booker, you know where he's taking you. He's taking you to the House of Votun. And I will load up. I haven't showed you guys, but I can change the map and show you the House of Votun. It's a large mansion.
I think we saw it for the funeral.
We did not.
Oh,
This is the House of Votun.
That was a temple of Vexidon.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm getting the places confused. Sorry.
This is a large manor that was taken by, one of the nobles that was vying for the throne. And I'm going to put out your guys' models real quick. You guys can do this. Vyro, of course, is, down, but you guys can take a look at this is the actual house that is everybody paid for. And as you guys sort of walk up and you walk in, right? Anto shows you these slaves that are sort of just around the grounds. Vyro rolls a perception roll, as there's probably a few just around the grounds, like just doing basic gardening.
This is so beautiful. Instantly sees a slave. Oh,
shit. I got a natural one.
Yeah, I saw it. Anto, you show Booker the slave as he walks in, right?
Okay, so hear me out, Booker. They are slaves. I bought the slaves. So now listen to me. Hear me out. Do not lose it. You're the only sane brain in this team of merry mischiefs.
Insight check on that. I want to know if he's lying about that, if he thinks that. I'm sorry. I have to.
Anto makes a deception roll versus Booker's insight.
It's not a deception, though.
Well, I just want to know if you're trying to ham it up or if you actually believe that. I'm sorry. So it
Viro-
either be deception or persuasion.
I'll
Yeah.
say because it's a mix. So you know what? Persuasion. Yeah, I'm going to spit it out.
Okay, 15 for me.
I got 14.
Booker, you can tell he is half truthful with this statement. And Viro, this is sort of where like the passive perception stuff could be used to a certain degree. You actively roll perception roll, but then as you spend a little bit more time, around it, you look in, and then you do see slaves in the house a little bit. But you're just kind of also following along the conversation as you're kind of been sneaking around, right? As Anto seems to be pretty heavily engaged with talking with Booker. You like crick open the window a little bit, because there's like they're venting it out so you can like listen to the conversation as you're successfully hiding. What does Anto and Booker say? Is Booker, you spot that somewhat of like a white lie in a way.
I'm hurt, but also I can't believe you. I smack him on the shoulder, but hurt myself. Why?
Okay, so just listen to me. Just let me speak my piece, and then you can talk. I'm not doing anything bad. Yes, I am. Maybe not. Who knows? The thing is,
why do you own? There is your name on that person's cheek.
I didn't ask for the name on their cheeks. So here's the thing. You know how we were like down there with the soul, the vampire things, looking for the children being kidnapped and everything?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so before that, I went to take a dip in the ocean. Don't ask me why. And after I did that, no, I said, don't ask me why. And so the thing is, before I went to the ocean to take a dip into the water, I heard a scream in the port, and I didn't think too much of it. And so when we went to Azul, and then I started hearing the conversation between you guys and everything, the dots started to connect and everything. So I decided to go to the port and see if I could see some slaves. And I found slaves. You following me here with this?
Continue.
Okay, so I found the slaves at the port, and I found the children. I'm guessing.
Children?
Yes. And I bought them all. And after I bought them, first thing I did was take the children to their families. So they are with their families.
Did you at least... Okay.
Viro and everyone hears a knock at the main door.
Oh, it appears you have visitors.
I do have it. No, Azul has visitors. What?
Is this not your residence? Did you break into somebody's house too?
No.
What is this operate? I go to answer the door. I'm mad, so I'm just trying to walk at any chance to walk away. Open
Booker,
the door.
You see one of the king's guard there.
Yeah.
They have the royal symbol of Stormfire, right? The new encrusted symbol. Next to the guard is a child that you see. The slave markings of Anto and Stormbrook there. Sir, is this the manor of Lord Anto?
Yes,
Anto,
yes, Booker, yes, don't worry about it. Yes. I see you found my slave. Yes, I misplaced him.
This child was found with a woman, but this child is marked for slavery. So.
Oh yes, sorry, I forgot to take their marks off. I was gonna do that, but I got like distracted and I lost sight of him. But that's the first thing I'm gonna do with the job. I'm going to remove the markings.
Yes.
He kind of goes a little bit, and he is somewhat convinced, but he wants you to. He basically goes back to the. He's like, all right, and then he takes the child, and the child walks in a little bit, and what do you do? The child kind of has his head down as it shuffles forward a little bit.
So I went to crouch towards the kid and I say, "Don't worry, kid. I got this under control. Don't cry. Don't do anything stupid."
I was out getting muffins for mommy, and this guy stopped me.
Don't worry about it. It's all going to be fine. Just don't make a scene.
Yes, it is going to be fine. Anto, a moment.
Don't worry about it. So, can I help you with anything else, sir?
The guard nods his head and says, farewell, and shuts
All
the door
right.
and leaves.
Okay. Whew.
Viro,
Okay.
you see all of this happening, by the way.
Yeah, I'm aware.
What's the emotional state of Viro watching this? I'm curious.
You can't see his eyes. He has a hood over. You don't know anything.
There. Okay. I mean, I don't see it. Just
Oh no, I'm not gonna spoil anything.
Anto, if this can be taken care of, why haven't you taken care of it?
Forgot to take the plans. I didn't think all of the plan through. I was just going with the wind, following all like one step at a time.
That's because you don't think.
I usually fight. I don't get into the politics or whatever. But here's the good point. At least the slaves are not far away to the east, and they're right here where they're supposed to be. All we gotta do is just resolve this. And I cannot exactly like get rid of all the slaves because I need some slaves for a little bit of time.
You need followers, willing
Yes.
followers, not people you can buy. That's wrong. You know that's wrong.
Listen to me. So I need followers. So these slaves can help me out with that little bit, at least for a little while. And as I'm saying, I'm going to take the trident and throw it to the corner, far away from me, so he cannot hear the conversation fully. And
He still has ears, doesn't he? I don't know. That's right.
I don't know how the trident works. I'm just going to throw it away. And so here's the thing. I need the followers. If this is 2 birds, 1 stone. We help the slaves. They're not far away from their homes. I need the followers so they can take that role for a little bit. And if they're like followers and they're not like free around there, Rasha is not going to know because he's not going to be looking at a temple. He's going to be looking at the streets. They're going to be away from his eyes.
It's still, you bought slaves from Rashad.
Yes.
He has paperwork of you buying slaves.
Yes.
Your written name and signature.
Don't worry about that bit, not one bit.
I'm not the one who should be worrying. It's you. You should be worrying because, I don't know, Vero may cut your head off for this. If
As
he
soon as
sees
you
you with
say
a
that.
child...
As soon as you say Vero might cut your head, I need you to make a con save, Anto.
Eh?
Oh my god. So many concepts today. 29, natural 20.
Okay. Well, you feel yourself start being pulled as if you're about to be teleported, but nothing happens.
Let's move the conversation upstairs. Come
You
on.
okay? You look like you have a bad case of indigestion. Let's... Okay, I guess.
You're so lucky. I was about to teleport him onto the roof and then kick him off.
So much violence.
I want to try and enjoy the nice space around us. It's very nice, except everywhere I go, I see slaves.
Booker.
Master
Look
Booker,
at me.
would you like some water?
Do not call me that.
Master
sorry,
Anto,
no.
would you like some water?
You know what? How about you get a cup of water, you throw it into the trident that's over there on the floor.
All right.
Don't
worry about it that much.
Trident.
Yeah.
While they're having a conversation, I'm going to cast Find Steed, which takes 10 minutes. So I'm going to stone my horse while they're talking.
Trident.
Right.
So Booker.
I sit down in a chair and I'm just okay.
Booker. Come on, look at it from the point. My point of view. This might look bad.
I hate your point of view.
At the end of it, it's for the greater good.
They're going to figure this out. You can't go back there and be like, up, I need more slaves. And then get the slaves, and then you go to them and say, I need these slaves, no longer slaves.
So that's why I'm here for you. Booker, if you help me out with the face paint, we can hide the fact that they have some markings on their faces. If they can't see the markings, and these markings we just say is like a dress code for the temple of the god of rain, and if I'm pretty sure they're not going to mess with the temple.
I do not know the laws of this land.
We got the cardinal on our side. The demon itself is helping us. We even got a dragon god with us.
I do not know how much stock we can put in Delian and her.
Booker, look at me in the eyes.
I can't right now.
Look at me in the eyes, man. Come on. Man up a little bit. It's going to be fine. Even if I'm a sellsword, I'm going to say it. Have a little faith.
You have no faith. You run a house of lies. We caught you trying to throw that trident away, and now what are you doing? You're lying to yourself.
I'm trying to fix it. That's what I'm trying to. Had I not done anything of this, we would have gone into even further distance to try and get something that might not even be possible to get back. And the reason why I try not to get rid of the slaves is because if I get rid of the slaves at the moment and take their markings away, Rasha is going to get notice of this. He's going to get very pissed, and we're going to be on their bad sides. Right now, I'm on his good side, suspiciously on his good side right now, so he's not that much of a threat. He just made a deal with me. That's it. If something happens, it's going to be on me. I'm the one on the papers. I did the transitions. I paid for the slaves. You're fine. Didn's fine. Heck, even Fire's fine, even if I want him to be on fire. I don't think it'll do that much.
Look, Anto, I understand you're wanting to do good for the first time in your life, but you've jumped headfirst into the deep end. Very, very, very far. And these are brands. You can't really remove those, can you?
Well, we can hide it for the time being. You can remove them, but I'm not going to do it because it's stupid.
Do you even have face paint or makeup of any kind?
That's why I got you.
What are you expecting me to do? I produce ink. This is pure black ink. You can't exactly have them have a giant splot in the exact same place, identically on their faces.
Does it not work like a face paint?
Viro Steed arrives. What does Viro Steed look like?
Viro Steed is named Aethon, Aethon, and it's this big war horse with it's like this. It looks like it's made out of magma. And it has this long. It has hair similar to his. Has that orange fire mane. And I'm gonna tell it to bust through the front door, and stare Anto down.
Where I did specify that we moved that conversation upstairs. So
the horse gallops upstairs. The horse gallops upstairs. They're like, "He's that way," as they tell as Viro maybe asks one of the slaves. And the horse barges into the room.
I'm sending the horse in alone.
Oh, the horse goes in alone and searches for... The horse is actually intelligent. That's the thing about these horses. They understand common and celestial, things like that. And they're named. They can't speak back, but they understand what you're saying. So the horse barges into the room, Anto. What do you do? You see this magnificent horse of flame.
So before the horse is there, I'm gonna be like, so I have a painter supplies here. Maybe you can use that for the face paint. And the horse is like, oh shit.
Well, is this something that belongs to the house as well?
The paint supplies? No,
the horse.
No, the horse. No. I don't know what that is. Is it not yours?
No. I gesture to the horse in just a weirdly kind of just like way, and it's just, this is not mine. This is not anything. Just it's a fire horse.
I don't know what it is. I don't have horses. Much less this on fire. This is not attacking,
One
right?
second.
It's just there, right?
I'm looking at the details of the spell. One moment.
I
Y'all can
sent you-
keep talking.
Well, so okay, horse is not doing anything. So shoot, scram. I don't know. Ha! Move.
Vyro, is the horseman
well, the
commanded to do anything
steeds
else?
with I was checking to see if I had to like be there with it, but no. If the steed is 1 mile, I can speak to it telepathically.
Booker kind of
Yeah.
stands up. This is.
What do you do with
The horse turns
Vyro?
around and its ass faces towards Anto, and it kicks the shit out of him.
Make an attack roll with the horse against Anto. You make it with advantage because Anto's probably sitting down, like talking with Booker, or is he stood up like when this happens?
I stood up and tried to like
Shoot
shoo it away.
Yeah. So you just make an attack roll straight up, Vyro.
It does seem that D&D Beyond has timed out.
Rip.
Oop.
That definitely does not hit.
It doesn't hit you.
That'd be 8 total.
Anto, you don't have your sword or your shield probably equipped as you're talking, you know. In the time
The
of
trident's
peace,
downstairs.
yeah, the
Yeah.
trident is downstairs too. You see a slave is downstairs pouring water onto the trident, you know, over and over just to make sure it's like insatiated. As a slave touches it and says, "Oh, that feels good," and you see the horse try to hit you, though you dodge out of the way a little bit, Anto. This
I
horse,
have a AC 17 without the shield because.
yeah, you dodge out of the way.
Yeah,
What do you do, Anto?
Okay. Well, I'm not trying to fight. I'm just trying to shoo it away. But if it attacking me, I'm just gonna run away. That's what I do.
Run away!
Is there like this
So
exit that I
Vyro,
can get to?
like you try to just like grapple and like move it outside the house. And Vyro, how much do you try to telepathically communicate to this thing to like resist, or what are you trying to do, Vyro? As Anto tries to like really try to shoo this thing out.
I'm gonna tell the horse to bend down and let him on. See if you go
So
for
the
that.
horse kneels down a little bit, Anto. Do you get on?
Here's the amazing thing about a horse. A horse does not produce flame. This thing is on fire, ain't it? I ain't going near that thing. I ain't gonna sit on fire.
This is strange.
Booker, can't you just teleport it away like you do normally?
Oh no! Trust me. He just kind of looks in your direction, but it's not really talking to you. It's just looking kind of where he was looking last. The horse. I don't know what this is. I don't want to try and teleport it. This is on you.
What do you mean it's on me?